Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fasker and Why they know where Do Easy is. Jumbo, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Spade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
So almighty! And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now, looking at the fire. Faster and White coming through. Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. But Faster and White not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow also this extra point for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. AKO Legend is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy leg shot. But he ran. Almighty suffers extra casualties. DXG Radicals now.
SAF, and they don't really have much of a compound here. They have to expend each and every single one of those blue walls. But McRory taking those shots, pops his time turner as well. Beautiful nade down. Monarch gets caught off guard, and that bounce off of the tree was absolute perfection from McRory.
Apa kabar, Free Fire? Selamat datang.
Survivors, tayo perlukan sokongan. Carikan kunci. Keluarkan saya dari sini.
Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fasker and Why they know where Do Easy is. Jumbo, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Spade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
So almighty! And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now could be under fire. Fast ULY coming through, Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. But Fast ULY not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow out, so that's extra points for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. AKO Legend is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy leg shot. But he ran. Almighty suffers extra casualties. DXG Radicals now.
SAF, and they don't really have much of a compound here. They have to expend each and every single one of those blue walls. But McRory taking those shots, pops his time turner as well. Beautiful nade down. Monarch gets caught off guard, and that bounce off of the tree was absolute perfection from McRory.
Apa khabar, Free Fire? Selamat datang.
Survivors, saya perlukan sokongan. Carikan kunci. Keluarkan saya dari sini.
Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fast ULY, they know where Do Easy is. Jembao, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Fade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
Sao Almighty! And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now could be under fire. Fast ULY coming through, Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. But Fast ULY not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow out, so that's extra points for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. AKO Legend is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy leg shot. But he ran. Almighty suffers extra casualties. DXG Radicals now.
SAF, and they don't really have much of a compound here. They have to expend each and every single one of those blue walls. But McRory taking those shots, pops his time turner as well. Ooh, Nate down. Monarch gets caught off guard, and that bounce off of the tree was absolute perfection from McRory.
Apa kabar, Free Fire? Selamat datang.
Survivors, saya perlukan sokongan. Carikan kunci. Keluarkan saya dari sini.
Hello and welcome to Day 8 of the Free Fire MCP Major Season 2. My name is Holler, and with me is the amazing Danilee. How are you doing today on this fine Sunday afternoon? And what is your favorite Katy Perry song?
I thought we ended this yesterday.
No, we're going to keep it going.
Okay, are you talking about song in general, or are we going to
Katy
have to
Perry.
include music video as well?
Oh, I didn't think of it that far. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you like the most, because I know that the music videos are quite good.
I forgot the song name. God damn it. It's, maybe you've seen it. It's the one where Katie keeps dreaming about this military guy that she used to date.
Okay.
You don't know either, do you?
I don't know the song name. I unfortunately do not.
So that song, I felt it was very creative. I know some people took it the wrong way, but
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like a very intellectual song. It's like once you pick everything apart, you're like, oh my god.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
one of those songs.
While we think of that song, let's do a little bit of a rundown in terms of MCP Season 2. This is going to be Day 8, and of course we have the 18 best teams from Malaysia, Cambodia, and Philippines vying for their 50,000 USD, which is quite a lot of money that they're going to be playing in. This is, of course, Day 8. We saw a bit of a shakeup in terms of the second half of this entire league. We had the different teams and the group shakeups. What were your thoughts so far on Day 7?
So I think the group shakeups so far have been rather interesting because we definitely had opinions when we saw the groups initially, but after we saw them play, I think the mix-ups are really impacting the teams a lot more than not just what we anticipated, but the teams are sort of caught off guard and thinking, wait a minute, how come the teams that are towards the middle and the bottom of the bracket doing better than the top tier teams? It's a little interesting so far. Anyways, speaking of interesting, we've got the league stage prize pool distribution on the screen right now. So there's 2 stages to the MCP majors for anyone that's new to the broadcast. So right now we are in the league stage where all the teams are currently competing for the top 12 spots. Because if you make it to top 12, then you qualify for the final stage, which has an even bigger prize pool. So this is basically what everyone's going to be working towards. All that money and more.
And it's going to be for the final stage, which is, of course, the top 12 teams that you just mentioned. It's going to be, the grand finale. This is the big one, right? You just got to make sure that you're in the top 12 so that you have a chance. And once we do get into that final stage, all of your stats, all of the points that you've earned are, gone forever. You have a clean slate. Everybody's working from scratch in the sense of just trying to vie for the the most amount of money, which is, of course, first place with 15,000 USD. And the point system for this, first place is going to get you the elusive Booyah with 12 points. Second place is going to get you 9, 8, 7, and so on, all the way down to 0 points with the 11th and 12th placement in terms of the Battle Royale. So you definitely don't want to get eliminated early. Of course, every single kill that you do achieve, though, will get you that extra point. So there are other ways of making sure that you do get points in this Free Fire League.
Yeah, we already have seen situations where the kill points have been able to lift a team up, even though they haven't been able to get the placement points. So, if anything, you gotta aim for both, right? You gotta aim for those kills, and you have to get the placement points as a safety net in case things go backwards, right? So you can't get the Booyah, it's fine. As long as you got the points, it's a-okay for that day. Now, speaking of days, we're on day 8 of competition right now, and we're going to be working with Purgatory and Bermuda as our 2 maps. We had Kalahari yesterday, and we did see a lot of the teams, as usual, struggle on Kalahari, but now something a little bit more comfortable, Purgatory, although we could be seeing some of these teams going in for a bit of a dip, because that's something we have noticed with Purgatory. Some of these circles really like to play around the river.
Yeah, it's not easy to play with. It's a completely different map. I mean, it's a smaller map in that sense, so that they're similar in play style, but obviously the terrains are very different. You're going to see a little bit of action. Hopefully, no teams get unlucky with having like a river right in between them or right on the circle, because that makes for, well, it's interesting for us. It's not so great for the teams.
Yeah. I mean, we had some pretty interesting river circles already, but I do like seeing Purgatory because we know for a fact that Purgatory, as you said, because it's a smaller map, we're going to be seeing a lot more action. Anyways, we'll talk about the maps a little bit later. These are our teams competing in their current groups. We've got groups A, B, and C. We had a shuffle this week, so the teams are competing in completely different groups. Now, there might be something a little bit interesting on the screen right now. As you can see, Group A are actually missing a team. So, Holo, did you want to give the lowdown as to what happened here?
Yeah, so Enigmax had a couple of violations. They were absent from matches. They did some sort of they had an in-game bug that they were trying to abuse, which is kind of silly considering obviously everybody's watching everything. And I mean, I don't cheat. Like, I don't suggest you cheat even in your your pubs or whatever. But hey, this is probably not the place that you want to be in. So Enigmax, we found you, we caught you, we're kicking you out. And there's a statement on that on Facebook, so you can see exactly what happened. But those guys are eliminated, and now we're down to the top 17 teams.
Yeah.
Supreme Assault Forces, still the top, though. You want to kind of go down the list here, Nani?
Sure. So, as always, we're going to have SAF sitting at the top of the leaderboard. These guys leading with 394 points. Second place, 309. Very small chance that we're going to be seeing anyone catch up, but who knows, the possibility is always there. Blacklist International actually having a very impressive performance yesterday, lifting themselves up to second place. I know a lot of us on the panel, we were questioning whether Blacklist were going to be able to perform this season, because I think up until this point they haven't been that great. But then again, expectations may have been high, or the team might be trying to master a strat that we're not currently seeing. But Blacklist a second, pretty good for the team. PXG Radicals did fall down a spot, but that's okay. Knowing them, I think they're going to give Blacklist a run for their money for that second place, because I know these two teams, very, very competitive. I have to say, AKO, I was expecting them to be able to stay with the competition, but it looks like they're falling behind, Holo.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind, but to kind of just recap onto the teams that did really well yesterday. Blacklist International, obviously you stated that they had 58 points. SAF though with 56 points, so a pretty good day for them as well.
Yeah.
Almighty with 48 points. And I just want to highlight here, there were two teams that had really bad days. PXG Radicals, you see them in third place now. They had only 24 points yesterday. This is way below their average. They definitely did suffer yesterday. Something was a little off. As well as 4X-Men Expert, they had only 17 points. I don't know how you're going to be able to play on or, continue with that top 6 placing if you're going to only score 17 points in a day.
Yeah, it could be a case of just them being a little shaken up because we did have the group changes, but who knows, we still have quite a few days left, right? I mean, we've just done we've started day 7. Yes, so it was 7 yesterday. We're on day 8. We've got plenty of opportunities for these teams to readapt to their groups. I'm very sure they're going to be very quick about it too, because it's not like the first week where they had to not only adapt to the groups, but also had to figure out everyone's play style. I think everyone's got a bit of a gist on how these teams generally play. Now, speaking of teams, you have our teams to watch on the screen right now. SAF, Kings of the Bracket. I don't think these guys are going to drop anytime soon. These guys, solid performance all round. We did see the rise of Blacklist International yesterday, so this is also going to be another team that we have to keep our eyes on, because if they can make that climb, then maybe they'll be the one team to compete with SAF for that first place. And then, of course, we have PXG Radicals, which, Paula, I mean, you did highlight this. They didn't do that great yesterday, but today could be a turning point for the team.
They just need to pick it up, right? I think that was a bit of a confidence, they had a bit of an issue with their confidence yesterday. I think that they need to just kind of change things up. Maybe it was the shake-up, things, the different teams, the different targets, so to speak, have kind of changed the way that they've played. But, I think if we're looking at SAF and Blacklist International, I think Blacklist International are in a great spot. Yes, they're behind by like 90 or so points, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because all you need to do is make sure that you get as most money as possible as you get into the grand finale. SAF, on the other hand, this is where you need to make sure that you're not overconfident. You're not making sure that you have this giant ego, because at the end of the day, we're gonna have that clean slate in the grand finals. So you don't want to be in that situation where, hey, you think you're better than everybody else and you're just overconfident and you make these really risky plays.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw it yesterday, right? It was the 3-man SAF grenade. They basically just got shredded by one grenade. Moral of the story, maybe hide behind more than one glue wall, just in case you have situations like that where your team can get eliminated. Now, just a reminder as well, we're going to be going into Purgatory as our first map. We're going to be having teams A and B going up against each other very soon. They are still filling up the lobby, but before then, we're going to have to remind you we have a giveaway code later on, Hauler.
Yeah, and it's going to be the 2X Slaughter Party MP40 box. We're going to have codes throughout the stream. The only stipulation, of course, is that you need to redeem the code by the end of the stream. It's not a first-come, first-served basis. Anyone could do it. Make sure you take that screenshot, copy that code, share it with your squad mates, your mom, your dog, anybody who plays Free Fire. Let them know that, hey, this is free skins. We're going to give it away to you. So make sure that you are somewhat eagle-eyed, because sometimes the codes kind of flash by a little quickly. So you need to be quick in that sense. But hey, I'm sure there's somebody out there that can do a quick screenshot and send it to you.
Absolutely. So get that code in. Don't miss out. It's free goodies. Now, we got groups A versus B on Purgatory. Now, we did get basically a glimpse yesterday of these teams. Everyone has played 2 games against all of the groups. And I'm not sure if you agree. Maybe you don't. I have a feeling that A and B as a grouping is amazing to watch. Super aggressive. We saw some underdogs overperform yesterday. Yes, I repeat, some teams overperformed yesterday. And we could be in for a little bit of a run today as well.
Yeah. I think that you highlighted that with Group B. Argon Malaysia, they had 40 points. I mean, their average per play day is 25, so this is way above the curve. DoEasy had 46 points as well. This is another team that's done quite well.
Yes.
You do need to be careful about them, but not to take anything away from Bloodyhead, who have gotten 41 points in back-to-back play days. This is a team that, hey, everybody was kind of putting down on it, but they're consistently getting those points and making sure that they're here for the long run.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of hoping we see these teams continue on with their performance today, because it would be such a shame if it's one of those days like you just have a good day and that's it. You want that to continue, because we keep saying this word. I almost hate it now, the C word, but consistency so far has been a huge factor as to whether or not these teams are able to keep their placement on that leaderboard. So are these teams finally finding their foothold and earning that consistency that they've been trying so hard to attain up until this point?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there's going to be a lot going on. This is going to be the first match, Group A versus B. I think that you see, Group A, who has done very well in terms of placements, and then you're up against Group B, which is just like this team that or a bunch of teams that get all of the kills. So
Group
there's
B
a little
and
bit
SAF.
Yes, yeah, SAF pretty much.
All right, so I do believe the match is just about to start, so we're going to pass it over to our wonderful casters for today. I'm going to throw it over to Mustachio, AJ, and Neptune. The match is all yours.
And thank you very much, Danny and Holler, for welcoming us. A lot of insights in there from the teams and those things that we need to look out for within this game. AJ, how are you doing so far, brother man?
Oh, I'm excited to be back, bro. I left last week. I was absent yesterday, and all of a sudden, Blacklist International is in that second spot. But what's a little similar to last week was they were 87 points away from SAF. Yes, they are in that second spot, and yet they still are about 80-ish points away from SAF. What's going on here, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Danny did mention, I don't want to mention a word, but the C word it is. So, well, we have teams in there that are really consistent in this game. And also the shakeup that was mentioned earlier with the groupings, the shuffle that we've seen from this week, that has changed a lot of things. And also with the map shuffles that we've been doing all throughout the league.
Yeah, absolutely agreed, man. And now the next map is going to be Purgatory, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You know exactly how the action breaks down in here. Day of consistency or a day of absolute shakeup. Can I maybe get a few names from you? Which one of these squads are you looking out for in this first matchup here?
Yeah, we're talking about Purgatory right now. We're in, I would say, PXG Radicals are doing a good plays when it comes to kills. When we look at the average, when it comes to the whole league itself, they are getting 7.8 average kills. Now, when it comes to placement, it is, once again, PXG Radicals getting the top average placement points. So I think they're going to rock it this time.
Yeah, I hope they do, because this squad has just been absolutely phenomenal. But the one thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing perhaps the squad of bloody heads stick their noses where it doesn't belong, right? In the work of Supreme Assault Forces, because the bloody heads, they've been well known in the scene so far to not do amazingly well out there on the battlefield, but they are amazing when it comes to ruining the chances of these other squads. and they seem to have taken the drop at Ski Lodge, which is going to be in the corner of that map, so that's not going to be too much for them to fight early on. But SAF literally right beside them, Blacklist International, that could be a three-way battle that we can look forward to early on if these teams start moving a little bit prematurely. Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. These are familiar drops from these teams that we're seeing right now, and it's a little bit spread out. Now, if we look at Brasilia, there are 4 teams in there, and I think PXG Radicals is trying to move away because they might have spotted that team. And Bloody Heads, we mentioned earlier, they're on Ski Lodge right now, and if I'm not mistaken, the blue in there indicates it's a high-tier loot area, so they will have a lot of opportunities, a lot of advantage, just in case they will be pushed by a different team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. PXG, one of those teams that bring in those consistent gameplays. They're not too far away from Blacklist International at all in the third position, literally just 4 points away. They are still aiming to catch up with SAF. But so far, SAF, no matter what these other squads have tried to bring into their games, they've always managed to bag enough points to remain those leaders at the very top of the board. And now Metrics potentially going to start this fight off against Freedom Rumble, and it's not going to be for the players of Freedom Rumble. They are caught in the open. Manchai now for the side of Metrics can go in and cause a little bit of trouble. Vegeta, a quick nade from this guy might be able to cause a lot of trouble, but the guy has got nothing on his artillery so far. He needs to back away. Manchai running straight towards 2 of those players. Drax pulls out the time turner, but he does not get to stand up tall. Manchai gets taken down either way. Beautiful turnaround coming here from Drax and MTX. Metrics, although they had the compound, they make such huge mistakes taking this fight up against Freedom Rumble, and they will come out of it beautiful, alive, and kicking. But not to be too comfortable just yet, Neptune. Here comes Almighty.
Yeah, Almighty is trying to rush in, trying to go in Vulture on that gameplay, but none of Freedom Rumble has been taken out, and they have time to regroup. But no, Dren has been taken down and will be picked up in here, and hopefully they'll be able to regroup into that. And Drags was able to take down Batman on that game, but the comeback is here. Freedom Rumble might be in trouble, AJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. Jay-Z, what a movement coming in from him. This is the flank coming in from the side of Almighty. Freedom Rumble, they need to back away. Drax has been eliminated already. Orin, as well as Cobbs, they might get dropped once again. Almighty is not slowing down at all. They know that these animals are injured and they are going in for the kill. Orin gets dropped onto the floor. He's gonna have an absolutely sour day. Cobbs as well as Vegeta. Vegeta really low on his health and he gets knocked down onto the ground as well. Cobbs, the final standing man, he has got the shotgun. He might be able to turn things around if Almighty makes a mistake. And if, history has shown us Almighty, they always make a couple of mistakes in these fights, Neptune.
Yeah, and speaking of Almighty right now, this is a different, it looks like it's a different team, and there you go, Freedom Rumble has been eliminated, and once again, a 4-man strong team after that elimination. Almighty is moving differently. I don't know if it's the shuffle of the teams, the shakeup that it was mentioned earlier, or they've just had a lot of new tactics on their pockets right now. PXG Radicals in here trying to rush in against Argon MY, and they will be taking the high ground. Here comes Ramiel trying to go in for the side, and here comes Barba on the side as well. Oh, Tanamo has been taken down, and Insanity will be down as well. Argon MY are on fire in this fight, AJ.
Oh, Barba, he literally just walked right into that. Ramiel, the final player, pops that nade. Can he turn things around? Argon MY, they take Barba out of the equation. Tanamo's gonna bleed out as well. Insanity, the final player in there, is not gonna get picked up. Ramiel pulls out the glue wall just in the nick of time. X2R stepping up, Sparks as well. The numbers game going to catch Ramiel off guard here. Can he hold back? He manages to take down X2R, but unfortunately, the numbers game will catch up, and Argon MY eliminate PXG.
OMG, this is the quickest early game wherein a lot of teams has been eliminated already. 3 teams has been eliminated already this early into the match. We're not even going into the second phase just yet. This is just the first phase, and we have 30 seconds before that happened. And I don't know what got into these teams, but I am loving it, AJ.
Oh, I'm absolutely loving it, bro. I mean, Argon MY stepping it up. Almighty stepping it up. What else do we have in here to get served? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the MCP Major Season 2 is hot. It's on fire. Now, SAF Almighty might be able to bag another one and impress us yet again. Fast Killer MY on the way in towards Brasilia as well. They need to be really careful with their rotations in. Bloody Heads, this exact same thing can be said for them. It's going to be FSK Yun on your screen. Like I mentioned, Team Fast Kill, very, very close to SAF. This might end up very, very badly for the leaders of the leaderboard so far, because this flank from 2 super squads, Almighty as well as FSK, it's not going to be easy to tank, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, FSK is doing a risky moves in here, going for the information, but with 4 on the vehicle, or 3 on the vehicle right now, trying to go in, and they can use that vehicle to their advantage, like just their cover. But I think they're just gathering information and trying to go in for the flank against SAF. But one is being damaged, it's Yoon in there, and there you go, a double hit, McRory in there, going for the grenade, 2 left for FSK. What can they do in here, AJ?
Yeah, terrible plays coming in through, bro. Hanma now trying to do much from heaven. He's not going to be able to help his team members. Yoon makes his exit as well. Team Fast Kill, a terrible movement in here. And SAF's going to make them pay that high price. Ali, he's stuck between a tree as well as an open field, which means this guy has got nowhere to run. McRory going to be catching him with a flank. Let's go going in towards the left-hand side as well. A double glue wall being pulled out by Ali just to buy himself more time. But more time he will get in terms of seconds as he gets knocked down onto his butt. It is going to be Shark, the final player left in here for Team Fast Kill. And he's not going to be able to do anything, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of placement points right now for Fast Kill in case they'll be able to survive that long into the game. So, Shark needs to be a little bit of sneaky in there, moving into the circle to the middle, that is. But some of the teams are already waiting for them, like Almighty, like we mentioned earlier, as well as this Blacklist International, who's coming from the north, from Moat House, going down. And I think they might be in a chase on Do Easy at this point. Do Easy will be moving south as well. So, if they meet up, they might meet another team coming from that area. And we have Blacklist International right now. We mentioned they move up from or to the second place on the leaderboards. Will they be able to maintain it, AJ? That is a question right now.
Oh, absolutely, man. Blacklist International, talk to me a little bit, Neptune, as to how they've been doing yesterday, because I didn't manage to catch up on those matches just with the results. Have they stepped up on their aggression, or were their points mainly coming in from, just playing in really, really safely? Because, this was one of those conversations I had, together with Husky as well, in terms of how the aggression from Blacklist International has definitely mellowed in comparison to Season 1. How did they get back to that second spot, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplays of all the players, and those on the top teams, compared or apart from PXG Radicals, are really slow from the beginning. And then when the time comes that they meet up with the enemy, they are in there, giving it all, like quick squad wipe there is. If they can take advantage of that. And I think that is a pattern wherein you can balance off your placement as well as your kills if you're confident enough to go in against a team and like eliminate them from this game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Blacklist International, they are 50 kills behind SAF in terms of the number of kill points they've been able to pick up. So that in itself is going to be quite a clear picture that you can paint for yourselves in your minds, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's not going to be easy to catch up to the Supreme Assault Forces at all. They need consistent, consistency in terms of bagging those high numbers of kills at least throughout the whole day today. And at the same time, they need to make sure SAF does not have a great standing. Similar to what happened to PXG in this particular round, that's exactly what needs to fall onto the SAF in terms of their fate if Blacklist International or PXG Radicals wants to stand a chance, right? Now, Auto Knockout, AKO Legends, they've fallen quite far behind as well. But the team that I absolutely am excited to watch climbing up the ranks, Fastkill MY, sitting down in that 5th position right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those coming in from the middle and moving up slowly, but again, we still have a few more days, a few more weeks of these league stages, and there's a lot of opportunities for them to go up to the ranks and reach that top 12. But it might mean that some of the teams might be kicked down into the ladder, but that is the name of the game. You need to overtake a team to be able to reach and take the finals. And like was mentioned earlier, once you have or jump into the finals, it's a clean slate and you can start over again as the moment that you have everything in place, especially with the game style and all the experience that you have from the previous days of the league. You'll be able to go and smash all those 5. But right now, we will be right back with the game, and hopefully our conversation, me and AJ, will provide you more insights after the game, not just what's happening right now, but what's happening on the back end.
Yeah, high probability of a remake here because of all of those lags, but it looks like that's not the situation, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Not much information coming in here from production, so we will have to just wing it halfway through. Views as well as Almighty, they might come across each other. Do Easy quite far away at the danger zone, but they will be able to escape that. The angle that's being held on by Views here is super risky. No compound for themselves at all. They will have to abuse as well as expand all of those glue walls if Almighty or Do Easy starts asking these tough questions.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they might be wasting a lot of glue walls in here, standing out in the open with 2 teams going against them, and this boulder will make a good replacement for that. It won't be taken down by those bullets, and they can use it as a cover. But they need to move. They need to move a little bit more, because if they get stuck or probably flanked in there, not by Almighty, because we know the gameplay of Almighty, they will stay in that house until probably the circle comes in and push them in further into the zone. But for the rest of the teams, we're just hanging back like bloody heads right here. I think this is a good idea for them to stay just on the edge, because they are doing well when it comes to placement point. Some are doing well when it comes to kills, and it varies when we change map. And we mentioned how Blacklist International did well yesterday, and right now this is going to prove my theory. The theory is they did well yesterday because of the map. And if Purgatory, based on the number, they're not doing good going against against Argon MY. Not quite sure if they'll be able to survive
nice.
this. And shots from Ajim in here onto
Oi.
Argon MY will not be able to make that much damage.
The guy expended 3 of those glue walls just to get away. I'm not so sure as to why he did that. He could have just made do with 2. Pedro as well as his buddies going to be holding onto a glue wall on their own. They back away from the situation as well. Blacklist International, both of these squads, they don't know exactly who's firing at them at each other, but Cobra now going in for that backstab and manages to drop me down onto the ground. Glue wall, time turner being pulled out as well. This is just all out chaos. Clanks and Phoenix gets dropped onto the ground. Pedro manages to go in for the delete on Clanks as well. Ajib, final player, he's got the shotgun in his hands. Can he turn things around? No! Blacklist International get eliminated, and Argon MY still stand strong.
My theory rests. Purgatory is not a map for Blacklist International. They did good on the start of that push, but it's the communication or probably the placement that they have. They were eliminated like that when they have the advantage. And I was just looking at the numbers and crossing my fingers just to make sure that, just to think that Blacklist might be able to survive this. And the numbers that I have is wrong because they're a strong squad. But Argon MY, judging from how they're working all throughout. Oh, Bloody Heads has been taken out, and it was by Sap in there that quickly in this game, AJ.
Yeah, partially my theory comes true. Bloody Heads meets SAF, but it didn't go the way I thought it would go. Beautiful plays as usual from SAF, man. Off screen, that delete came through so quickly from them. Barely, seconds before we saw those Bloody Heads players get knocked down, they get eliminated, deleted instantaneously. And that's exactly how aggressive SAF wants to lead this particular game. Argon MY finding that this zone is not going to be very kind to them. Twice now, the next safe zone is going to be spawning so far away from them. And as they pull this flank to get into the next compound, they are going to come across Do Easy, a team that is trying to catch up to that 12th position, and they are not too far away from it at the moment, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they are in there. They tried yesterday to go in and overtake Bloody Heads, but a lot of teams has been performing well on this second half of the league. So I think it will be a little bit difficult for them. It will be a little bit difficult for them to move, and some of the teams might be a little bit too confident as well, staying on the upper part of the leaderboard, that they might be pushed down a little bit more.
Yeah, Argon MY needs to be very careful, and Do Easy needs to set it in their own minds. I mean, clearly they don't know who's in front of them, but they need to be able to take down the side of Argon MY, because, the next ones in target for Argon is Do Easy, bro. Argon sits down in that 14th spot. Right in front of them is Do Easy. And Do Easy holds on to quite a solid lead, about 29 to 30 points away from Argon MY. But if Argon MY can literally, look at that, man. Pedro with a beautiful nade on Alforte. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, Argon freaking MY off screen, just doing a number on 2 views. Come on, production. Let's take a quick peek at that. Wheels, they get eliminated off screen. And we missed all of that sweet action.
Oh my god. I mean, the grenade has been in a trend here. The grenade and the grenade launcher, it has been utilized by a lot of teams, and they are doing a lot of damage in here. And Almighty, like I mentioned earlier, it has been a gameplay that they have, and they are going against SAF right here. And this placement of Almighty taking the higher ground on the roof, and there you go. Batman was able to take down Let's Go. It is Sap taking what they are giving out.
Oh, the time turners are going to be pulled out by SAF, because that's the only way to perhaps stop those nades. Those glue walls aren't going to be doing much of a favor, because you toss that nade behind the glue wall. Bye-bye, sir. Ren now trying to find if or not he can go in for the flank. Argon MY getting eliminated by Do Easy. That one squad that I clearly mentioned they have to take down has gotten them removed from this equation already, and which means they're not going to be able to catch up to that 12th spot that easily. Argon MY needs to continue struggling, but Almighty, I like this fight that they've taken for themselves. They've backed away from SAF because they didn't have a great compound to hold on to, and SAF, they backed away behind that hill, and now approaching Do Easy. They seem to close, and they have managed to sneak into that zone. Jay-Z gets knocked down onto the ground. SAF, Ren can make a difference. The guy has got no nades on him, goes in for a couple of shots at Let's Go, and this is a very risky maneuver coming in from Ren right now.
A very difficult split from the side of Almighty right there, trying to take down two teams at the same time. But Jay-Z is doing well against Do Easy, and Ren right here going against Seth all alone. And there goes a lot of hits coming from Almighty here. They are really dominating this fight. Two teams at the same time. This is what I'm talking about, AJ. This is how you play the game. Will they be able to do it? Do Easy taken down. It's now down to SAF and Almighty. Still 4-man
Almighty's
strong,
gonna
and
win, bro.
SAF is out.
I was just about to say Almighty's gonna win because Batman has got a freaking grenade launcher in his hands, and in the moment, in the blink of an eye, Almighty, they bag the Booyah. What a way to make this comeback after being called out week after week after week after week. Jen, Shira, Ren, Jay-Z, as well as Batman, they move right back up to the top. What an amazing performance coming out of all of these players, gentlemen.
And this, I think this is why they are doing well, because three of them are together in the same time. So there's no delay on the communication in game, and it's good communication. Good communication indeed. That is critical, and Almighty doing that well against the top team of this league.
Yeah, and they didn't just play purely for placement points, right? They were taking all of your fights so well. Let's bring our host Danny as well as Holla right back in here with us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we can break that match down. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, Holla, does that look very familiar?
What a crazy game, right? Like, I mean, the biggest thing for me was that PXG got eliminated early. I think they were 11th, and then Blacklist International were eliminated 8th. I mean, those are some pretty monster teams getting out early, but Argon Malaysia kind of picked it up in the middle ground. I mean, big shout out, of course, to Almighty for pulling out that Booyah with Jay-Z, just going, with full John Wick style and with 6 kills or so. Clear MVP there. Big props to all of those teams. But SAF, even in, a somewhat average game, they're still in the running in the final 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, could Almighty literally be the dark horse that nobody wanted to keep their eyes on, who comes into the competition and just overtakes? Because, look, this is still the league stages, right? The group stages. We're not even in for the grand finals yet. And we kind of discussed this already, Danny, as to how they will use this particular moments to just get used to some of these other squads, their play styles, and try to dominate at the end. We didn't really peg Almighty to pull that off, but they seem to be doing it really, really well.
I think we give credit to Almighty, but we also need to take into consideration that yesterday, SAF actually fell into the exact same trap, where the team was clumped up, and it was the prime opportunity for a team to basically just blow them up with one grenade. Yeah. And we had the exact same thing happen today. So I'm wondering, is this a case of SAF also maybe not respecting the possibility of a grenade launcher? Because when you go into that final circle, you always have to expect the unexpected. You don't know what the other team has. They could be hiding a grenade launcher for that final circle. You don't know until they actually pop it out. So I'm not sure if it's maybe SAF not thinking about the grenade launcher, or thinking, okay, they're not going to be able to hit us, or... I really want to know what's going through their mind right now, because this has happened twice. This happened yesterday, and it's happened today.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Nep. To a certain degree, they should be able to see the kill feed, right? So, basic information should be available to Almighty, and that information will be the fact that Batman has got a grenade launcher in his hands. And I absolutely agree with you, Danny. It was not a fight that they should have taken clumped up. To a certain degree, it might have been because of, what sort of a compound the final circle went to, and we didn't really get much of a chance to look into the artillery. Maybe it could be a situation where a lot of the players didn't really have those glue walls, because it was crazy. They stayed clumped up all the way through, even if they saw on the kill feed that Almighty was just annihilating everyone at the grenade launcher.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see their inventories, right?
Yeah,
because what other reason is there for everyone to just be hiding behind a single glue wall?
Yeah.
Neptune, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, I'm just thinking probably it was the overconfidence that they had, because they have Do Easy on the other side, and they were looking at the kill feed. They might have been looking at the kill feed, because they are going against both teams at the same time. So if you see on the kill feed, they're not focusing on us. There's one person trying to shoot us down, and the rest of the teams are in there. But the moment that Do Easy has been eliminated, that's the time the rest of the teams got their focus, and well, they got the grenade.
So as SAF though, if you're in that situation, you're the final two, and yeah, you're creating these glue walls that look like, skee ball holes at the end of the day, and you're basically testing the other team to see if they have the utility and they can make the shot. But are they really playing it incorrectly? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're still final two. They're still getting their points. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where, hey, we are where we are. If you eliminate us, fine. But you got to hit this miracle shot. I don't know if that's really that, it's something that they really want to change in terms of their play style. What are your thoughts on that, AJ?
I think all three teams within that final circle, they were playing their objectives. And Do Easy, their objective was to get placement points as well as skill points. Almighty, exact same thing, placement as well as skill points. But I have a feeling that SAF is purely playing for placement points and they're not going in super serious because at the end of the day, they don't really have to put in that much of effort. They just need to see exactly how certain teams respond in sticky situations like that, right? I feel like SAF is on a roll in terms of data collection, and they're going to be able to absolutely annihilate at the grand finals because of that, Paula.
Now, we're looking at the standings very quickly, and look who is in second place. It's not SAF, it's actually Argon MY. And I have to say, these guys have really shown up this weekend. They did fantastic yesterday. They've overperformed, as we said during the panel earlier on, and these guys, I mean, if they keep this up, I feel like we're going to be seeing Argon MY making it to top 12 because I think at this point, it's been a very shaky road for this team. They haven't really been able to get those consistent points over the course of the weeks, but maybe this is the time where Argon just says, it's comeback time, baby, because that's what's happening right now.
Look at the fact that, like, the top three, right? 13, 11, and 8 kills, right? And then the rest of them, there are 7 kills between 3 other teams. Right? Let's put that into perspective. The fact that, hey, 1, 2, 7 teams have a kill. The other teams just got a donut and they're just fighting for their lives to just stay alive. I mean, I think that Almighty is super greedy with taking all those kills. Argon was another one. But, it just happened to be the moment where they just got super lucky. Great positioning. Just a really good match for both of those teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pain point here for Argon MY is no matter how much of effort they put into their matches, no matter how much they managed to step it up yesterday or today, it's still not going to be enough to get a great standing for themselves. They are still competing with, Do Easy for that 12th spot. And as long as Do Easy can make sure they get themselves into that final zone, it's going to be really, really tough, Holla.
All right, well, we're going to go into Bermuda. This is going to be match 2 of Group A versus Group B. AJ, Neptune, please take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, buddy. Bermuda this time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Will Argon MY be able to step it up all the way to the top Supreme Assault Forces as well as Almighty? Or are we going to see a totally new, fresh batch of squads in that final zone? Neptune, I hope this game is as crazy as the one that opened the day up today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone knows this map. Let me take that back. Everyone knows this map because it's the OG map. So there is a chance that they might know all the flanks, all the placement already, and that has been very crucial in some of the games. So far, this is the 8th day, and they have, you mentioned about data gathering, getting information from the teams. And I think most of the teams has been consistent on the drop, and that is one possibility why they are being taken down on early engagement, like what we've seen from the previous match.
Yeah, this is something Argon MY perhaps prayed for SAF to perhaps go in for a drop very, very close to Do Easy. Once again, in order for Argon MY to do well, Do Easy needs to get snuffed out very, very early in this game. Metrics, a team that is doing fairly all right for themselves, sitting down in the 13th position, need to get snuffed out early as well. And Argon MY, man, if those two conditions are met, they should be able to catch up with the top 12 today. But it does not look like Metrics or Do Easy want to give away these games so easily. I mean, I don't know how Metrics was doing yesterday, but last week they were on freaking fire, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to give it out that easily. And Metrics has this tendency of once they get the momentum, they can do it. Like they got a double booyah in there. And they had a chance for the following 2 games for another booyah. But they was just got short a little bit. And they did well that time. It's just that like Argon MY, it's possible that once you get or take down a good team from the start of the game, you get that rush that
Yeah.
you want to take out a lot of teams and do the same tactics from what you did from the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Now, Almighty will be looting up Peak, and they will not have any company at the moment whatsoever. And, this is that one squad which has been called out so many times across the past few weeks. And I am absolutely shocked to see them execute that match number one in that way, right? Because, one of the greatest failings of Almighty have always been, what do they do after they get involved in a gunfight, right? Sometimes, or most of the times, they are taking the great advantage in a gunfight. They seem to be winning. One guy makes a mistake, everything falls apart for Almighty. But today in that first match, it looked like they were absolutely in sync with each other, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them. Probably it's a communication between them. We saw one push that might provide us an example. We have one rushing in, and then the three are just hanging back. So that might be the placement of those teams, the two screens that we've seen from them earlier. So I'm just putting up some assumption here. But communication is one of the key when winning a battle royale match, and that is one thing that they can do. Another thing that I see from Almighty at this point is they've made some progress when it comes to early engagement. Back then, a few weeks back, early engagement is a downfall of Almighty because they're not prepared and they cannot hit back. But speaking of hitting back, here comes Argon MY being hit by Bloodyhead. And Bloodyhead, another team that might be able to move up the ladders if they'll be able to go against Argon MY at this point.
I don't agree with the decision from Bloodyheads to open up fire against Argon's X2R so early, man. I mean, clearly X2R was about to make a huge mistake, not knowing that Bloodyheads had the hill right above him. If only Bloodyheads had allowed X2R to extend himself away from that compound a little bit further, taking him out wouldn't have been an issue at all. The trigger discipline coming in from Bloodyheads, a little weak today, surprisingly, but they sit down in the 10th position, bro. I'm quite impressed already with how well they are doing in here after quite a rocky start for the MCP Major Season 2. Hopefully, we will be able to see them continuously step up and make these right decisions within these matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've made that. They made or they realized already that decision has been wrong at that point, and I think they backed off a little bit.
Yeah.
Not knowing which team that is, but yeah, you're right. If they were able to pull in that one guy, at least they'll be taking down only three guys as they move along and to the rest of the team and do easy right now, just hanging back in here into Graveyard, and it's just on the edge of the zone and a few loots that they can get in here from this vending machine, and we'll have to find out. DoEasy did a great job as well yesterday, and right now they ended up third. So DoEasy is another team that has been familiar on this league and hadn't really shown us that much early part, but little by little, I think they're starting to represent.
Yeah, and let's see exactly how well they will be able to do in here, right? Because the MCP Major Season 2, the competition is just so crazy, man. So many of these big teams at the bottom, not even making it up to the top 12. And it's not because, they haven't been playing the best of games. It's just that their opponents are way too good. The quality within the MCP Major Season 2 itself is just absolutely unbelievable, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talk about different game styles, and talking about game style, there are some game style that I am seeing that has been similar from like one team from the first few weeks of this league, and then it is being adapted by some of the teams, and they're starting to move up. So I think there's a pattern in here that the teams has already heard us. You mentioned about Almighty that has been called out, and they're listening. Everyone, all of these teams are listening to whatever. Well, I'm not saying whatever, but for the things that we had to say, insights that we have, because we have a different perspective of this game compared to them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I 100% agree with you because it's something that we have gotten into a conversation before as well because of how critical we are based on the amount of information we get to see. And I mean, both you and I are both Battle Royale players. When you're in that match, dude, it's such a different situation altogether. You barely know what's happening around you, which is why, going back to a point that you made earlier, communication is really key. Each and every single individual player, if they can hold on to certain, locations within a compound itself and continuously feed that information back to their team members, things can change, right? And now here's where we will see if or not Almighty will make a silly mistake. And yes, they do. They should have allowed Blacklist International to step up a little bit more forward before they get caught in a sticky situation. And now Blacklist International, they should be able to double back and back away from this encounter with those glue walls. But now they seem to be taking that fight up. Shira, this is good movements coming through together with Ren as well. The flank might be able to catch Blacklist International off guard, and they pull out those glue walls in retaliation. Can they survive this, Neptune? This looks like it's going to be a death match between these two squads.
Yeah, I mean, Almighty right now is doing good, and I think the reason why they fired early is because the zone or the circle will be closing in a bit, and some of the teams might be going in against them. And here we go, Almighty was able to take down 2 members already from the side of Blacklist International, and they're just up to 1. And like what I mentioned, another team has heard the gunshots, and they might be rushing in. And those decisions, I think those are decisions made by these teams. It might look like a mistake, but if you look at some of the factors that might affect them, like the zone rushing in, and some will be pushed in behind Blacklist International or probably against them, against Almighty. Those are risky moves that they have to take.
Oh, absolutely, man. I am just shocked out of my brains right now, right after seeing exactly how Almighty tap-out the side of Blacklist International. If you don't know what tap-out means, it means takeaway food, bro. It's a slang here in Malaysia. Blacklist International getting eliminated by Jay-Z. What a play, bro. And I'll tell you exactly why, right? We've seen Almighty try to take flanks against squads in the past. And once again, they've always made mistakes.
Yeah.
Today, they've been one of the cleanest squads out there on the battlefield, and they just cannot get more perfect than this. If they can keep this up, if they can continuously pull off of leaving 2 guys for the distraction, pulling 2 others for the flank, and this is something that Blacklist International is just so good at. Yeah, they should be able to get a lot of momentum in this matchup. Almighty at the moment, they sit down in that 6th position, and my friend, they're not too far away from climbing up those leaderboards because we've discussed this as well. The one team that has got such a huge lead is the Supreme Assault Forces. As for the rest of them up there on the leaderboard, we are looking at about 6, 8, 10 points difference between each and every single rank. And every time you step up, there's extra 200 USD in your pocket, Neptune.
Yeah, actually, also with the performance that we were seeing from Saf, it will just only take time until the gap between all the teams, the score gaps between all the teams will be balanced off, and we might be confused by the latter part of this league as to who will take which place on the leaderboard at some point.
That is the one thing I have to disagree with you, man, because I thought that last week as, the teams were catching up with SAF, but literally 1 week later, I missed 1 day of the show, bro, and I'm sitting down here right now, and Blacklist International is 98 points away from SAF. Okay, SAF is just blowing my mind week after week because just when I think, all right, teams may be able to catch up, and then poof, they go so far ahead, and that catch-up gameplay is just so impossible. It's so nerve-wracking for some of these teams who are aiming for that number 1 spot. I guess the saving grace here is, Neptune, the fact that this is not the grand finals, and you just have to make sure you're in the top 12.
Definitely. I mean, putting yourself in the top 12 after what has been happening for this whole league is very difficult for some teams, and I'm really grateful to see some of the teams really move up. We were thinking that all throughout the league, if the shuffle hasn't changed, they might have stayed there for a long time, and this time we're seeing a little bit of movement. I mean, a little bit of shakeup from the teams and the tactics as well. those movements, those changes, balancing it off from two teams in here, or from all the teams being balanced it off on their rankings, it will be a game changer. And speaking of game changer, this is Almighty and Bloody Heads, two teams that are trying to rank up onto this game, and I believe this is it, AJ.
This is going to be fun, man. Bloody Heads, they have got the vantage point in here. Marty still gets knocked down onto the ground by She-Ra out of nowhere. And Bloody Heads now need to make a comeback. Time turner pulled out by Mark. Mark goes in for the push, and he manages to knock She-Ra onto the ground. Batman from the back. He takes Cryfu down. He goes in for the delete as well. Mark on the ground. Morgana needs to respond. Can Morgana make a comeback? No! Almighty! They run all the way through Bloody Heads, and they stand tall. The only member that they lose in that battle is She-Ra. But Almighty, oh, how impressive have they gotten, Neptune?
Yeah, I think I'm still putting assumptions in there on Almighty with the three members grouping up in one room. That is doing well for them. If they haven't done that previously, that might have been a downfall. But here we go. We have Argon MY, a really aggressive team right now. Ooh, Pedro almost hit by that grenade, but another one coming in almost. That is the trouble. There goes Pedro trying to avoid all those grenades, AJ.
Beautiful place. Dude, this is round 2. This is revenge time. Let's see if or not Argon will be able to snuff out Do Easy. This is that squad that is sitting down in the 12th position. Argon MY trying to make it. They are about 22 points away from Do Easy. Taking them out would be a blessing. Pedro jumps right in there. Knocks down Jembal. What a play. Coming in here from Argon MY. X2R drops Ivan as well. Do Easy now. They manage to retaliate just a little bit. X2R, they gets dropped down. Pedro on the ground as well. The delete does not come through. Do Easy gets eliminated. And what a play by Argon MY.
Oh my god, I mean, Pedro didn't even get a kill there, but the damage that he dealt with the teams, Argon MY are really on fire right now. Hopefully we'll see another team in here, because a lot of teams are clumping up. We have Metrix, who's just waiting in. Weewus might be rushing in against Freedom Rumble right here, but Metrix is on their side as well. Yeah. And these gameplays are things that I'm really excited to see, and hopefully we'll see another one, a clutch gameplay, or probably a quick squad wipe from these teams, AJ.
Yeah, Freedom Rumble, this might be a GG for these boys, but Orin manages to go in for a knock as well as a delete on one of the players from the side of Hughes, and they back away right under this bridge. Are they going to be the little trolls that turns this whole situation around? But Freedom Rumble now, they get caught in a very, very tight spot, and now the blue zone's going to be coming in for the push as well. Views, they do have those nades on their hand, and Limit gets knocked down by Shafiq. Metrix is helping out Freedom Rumble without even knowing it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And the rest of the players from Freedom Rumble getting into that safe zone, and yes, they will make it there. And now Cobbs, he might be able to help the rest of the teams eliminate Argon MY from this equation. And Freedom Rumble, they hold on to such an open spot, but I think this is just absolutely golden, man. They can use the pillar of this bridge now, just a little bit of a cover. Argon MY won't be able to touch them, but they need to keep an eye on their backs, Neptune.
I mean, a lot of teams are a bit there. Oh! And we thought that the Wheels will be able to survive that, but here we go. We have Freedom Rumble being shot down by Metrix right there, and we have Almighty going for the third party. Freedom Rumble being eliminated from this game. We're now left to 6, and Saf right now taking the higher ground, but Argon MY is on their sides, and they're clumped up. This is the advantage that McCrory can get to go for that grenade if they'll be able to pull this off, but a lot of teams might be waiting on the other side, and they have to wait. And there you go. We have a PXG taking them down one at a time. Hopefully they'll be able to survive this fight, because this will be epic, AJ.
Hey, absolutely, man. Double glue walls, triple, 4, quadruple glue walls being pulled out back to back, and the nade finally gets popped. SAF, McRory, he's cooking it up. Can he get the takedown? Me on the ground now. It's going to be Argon MY taking down McRory, but they don't get the delete just yet. SAF, they need to approach this really, really carefully. Almighty's Jay-Z gets knocked down by Rin OP off screen. Metrix will be able to eliminate Almighty. SAF, they'll lose one player. Let's go on the ground. Argon MY still standing strong. Daymoon gets taken down as well. Argon MY, they are not giving it in. They have already taken this fight against SAF once, but this time round, second time round, PXG out of nowhere they step in and they eliminate SAF, Neptune.
Oh my god, I mean, they are being shot down from afar by PXG Radicals, but here we go. PXG Radicals, because of the engagement, the shots that they made, they might be backstabbing here, and there goes Ramiel coming back against Yoon, and the pickup is on for the side of Fastkill MY. Now, the problem for PXG Radicals, there's only 3 members in here. Hopefully, they'll be able to regroup and back away from that fight, because they are outside of the circle, but inside of the circle, they're out in the open, and here comes Insanity, trying to break down all these walls, getting stuck probably, and that is a problem when you use that much wall. You might be in a little bit of pickle, but they are taking the middle of the zone or inside of the zone right now, but Pascal and MY is just behind them. We have Metrics trying to take them on, but I think there'll be shots coming from beneath them, and Argon MY is being taken down by PXG Radicals as well. A lot of things has been happening in here, and I'm just questioning who will be taken out first, AJ.
Oh, Metrics now going in for FSK. Yoon's really low. He needs to drop his health right back up. Manchai getting dropped onto the ground. FSK Ali drops Rin, and Manchai gets deleted. FSK as well as PXG going in for the flush, and Metrics, they don't know exactly what's happening. Insanity might be able to cook the nade up and get a couple of knocks for himself. Beautiful as he gets the knock onto Ali, but he doesn't get the kill just yet. Yoon gets taken down. Metrics eliminated now, and PXG eliminates Pascal MY, and now this fight is once again between PXG as well as Argon MY. Argon MY with Pedro! Pedro getting that knock! Pedro goes in for yet another, but the numbers game catch up, and PXG secures the Booyah Neptune!
And this is what I'm talking about, the unorthodox theme of the Radicals, PXG. Most dope, Ramiel, Dynamo, Insanity, and Barba taking the booyah of this game, and this is a good play for this team because they know how to back off despite of the situation that they were in. They were against 2 teams in there as they move into the circle, and here we go. Proud, loud and proud, the teams of PXG are showing their win, their booyah of these games, AJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. What a play coming through from PXG, picking the booyah up. But my personal MVP from that match was Pedro from the side of Argon MY. Oh, those guys were on fire, man. Let's bring on Danny as well as Holler right back in here, Neptune, and have a quick chat with them. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you. My God, I was thinking it was going to be another almighty game after the explosive opening, but some things are not meant to be. I mean, I think they're still going to be almighty pretty high up the leaderboard, but it was so close for Argon MY. That was so close.
Holler, your thoughts, my man?
PXG picking it up, right? They had not so great of a day yesterday. I think they had 24 points yesterday. And so just this alone, the booyahs, the kills, just, Ramiel and Barba just really stepping up with, I think, 3 kills apiece. These guys really turned it up. But hey, Argon Malaysia, this is a team, Pedro with 5 kills. This guy he has a never say die attitude. I love it. They're keeping their team in this league, and they're being very competitive. Pedro, big shout outs to him.
Absolutely, man. Neptune, did you expect this sort of a performance from Argon MY, my friend?
From the start, no. But the moment that they went in there, I saw how Pedro just rushed in. We saw how they tried to avoid those grenades and those crossovers. Really, the movement and all. I would say, hey, they will be able to survive, and they pushed in and to do easy. I know they aggressiveness, the motivation that they have, they'll be able to move it up a little bit onto the top.
Yeah, and this is what I love about Free Fire, man. I mean, the teams, regardless whether they're at the very top or at, somewhere at the bottom trying to scratch and claw their way up to the top, when they get into their stride, it's just so exciting to watch them get into action, right? And this time, even, the almighty SAF could not go up against all of that firepower in that final circle, guys.
I have to say,
SAF, you saw them in the middle, right? Right in the river where they were kind of making their way up with hats. They expended so many of their glue walls just trying to get in. But I think that this is kind of like, you see the top tier of this team, right? Almost everybody and their moms are shooting at them, but they were like calm, collected. You know what I mean? Just McCrory he got knocked down, he got picked back up again. He still managed to get kills. And I mean, you just see how in sync this team is and continuing to move on. Very, like a big game from SAF.
Absolutely. Danny, do you think we might be able to see any of the other teams catch up to SAF with their current stride in the competition? Granted, they did not get the booyah this time around, but they still seem to be bringing quite a bit of heavy firepower.
I think it's more along the lines of, can anyone be consistent enough to catch SAF, right? Because SAF, they're constantly reeling in these points in. Sure, they have maybe average weeks, but we've never had a string of days where SAF is scoring single-digit points. So the likelihood of someone being able to catch up to them, very unlikely. But I do like what the change in groupings has done. It's actually made all these players so volatile compared to the last 3 weeks, where you would have some semblance or at least an idea as to, okay, these are the top teams. These teams generally get the booyahs, or they generally survive longer. Whereas now, I think all of us are in the dark. It's better now.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not disagree at all. And Group C just might be that game changer group that steps in here later on and shakes up some of these squads, right? Let's see. I'm curious to see how Argon MY does against Group C. I'm curious to see how SAF does in that battle as well. We haven't really been seeing a lot of views in that past match. So hopefully maybe when the matchup between A and C happens, we will be able to see them step it up a little bit as well, because they seem to have lost a little bit of the momentum, Holler.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're going to see the standings now in terms of what you just saw. 12 kills from PXG Radicals, really stepping up. Argon Malaysia, yeah, you talked about how good they are, but they're going to take a little bit of a break as we go into Group A versus C. That's going to be coming up. But Almighty, man, this is a team that just came out angry. They are killing people left, right, center. And if you see them, like, look at this, top 3 placing of there. It doesn't matter if they've only got 5 placement points when they're getting all these kills on their way out.
Man, if anything, I'm looking at Blacklist down at the bottom. That big fat 0 after, man, the pressure from Almighty in the early game. I love their decision to do that, because even though they saw in the kill feed, oh, it's Blacklist, they went in there guns blazing, super confident. Whereas I think in the previous groupings, it would have been the complete opposite. It would have been Blacklist to be the ones to put the pressure onto Almighty. But I love this new Almighty that we're seeing. Is this team going to break out into top 5?
I think they most definitely will be able to do that, because Danny, to answer that question, what do they need to be able to pull that off is literally get 5 more points and they will slide in to that 5th spot, right? They get 6 points and they are in the 4th position. This is absolutely ridiculous in terms of how the leaderboards have stacked up. And one quick update for the audience, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have got Argon MY now, literally 9 points behind Do Easy. And that was the matchup between the two that we were so curious to see exactly how it breaks down. And because Argon MY managed to win that fight and not only do that, but get into that final circle, they're slowly closing the gap. But Metrics now, they steal the 12th position. Even Do Easy has gotten kicked out of the top 12.
Yeah, and there's going to be a bit of a shuffle, right? In that bottom, you said that they were going to fight their way to the top. We're seeing that, right? It's very difficult to be consistent in this game, especially when you have those top tiers that are like hunting you down, taking as much as they can. Like the PXGs, not the Blacklist in this case, because they just did a little poorly. But I mean, it's very hard to find kills. Right, and that the kills will get you consistency, but the thing is that if there are no kills around, you're pretty much just twiddling your thumbs at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. But we do have something that the audience can look forward to, Danny.
Oh, of course. It's actually going to be our first giveaway code for the day. It is at the bottom of the screen right now, so please claim this now. This code expires at the end of the stream, so as soon as we go off stream, that's it. Code's expired, so claim it now. Take a screenshot. You can also send this to your friends and family, because this code is for everyone to share. Everyone will get the goodies. It's not first come, first serve. This is a gift from us to you for tuning in to the MCP Pages Season 2. Now, if you haven't claimed the code, not my problem. You know what is our problem? It's our next matchup. It's B versus C. I love seeing B versus C because, firstly, SAF are in a position where they have to secure points now because they've had very round these past 2 games. For them to remain consistent, they're going to have to pull out at least one good showing in this next matchup. But the competition is not really that easy in C either. C is pretty stacked. So the question I have for all of you before we go for a break is, do we think SAF are going to get these points before they tap out for the week?
Nope. Nope.
No?
Group C is the group of death after the reshuffle. I believe in Group C, SAF is going to have a tough time, Danny.
Okay. Neptune?
Well, probably this week is just a testing period for SAF. The changes that we have for the groups, we've seen them. They're slow from the start and then manage to move on the end, as has been pointed by Danny all throughout the previous groupings. So hopefully it's this week they're taking slow, and then by hopefully by next week they'll be able to ramp it up.
Hopefully, that's the key word here. Hauler, do you think SAF will be able to pull through this week?
I think so. I mean, they've always managed to find points. Until they prove me wrong, I'm going to say that they're going to pick it up. I think that they're going to dominate this next one, B versus C, that's going to be coming up.
All right, we're going to go for a quick commercial break, and once we return, we'll jump right into the action. It's Group B versus C. See you after this.
Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fasco and Why they know where Do Easy is. Jembao, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Fade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
So almighty! And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now, they're under fire. Fascio and White coming through, Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. Fascio and White not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow also this extra points for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. 8 kill Legend is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy lick shot, but he ran. Almighty suffers extra casualties. DXG Radicals now.
SAF, and they don't really have much of a compound here. They have to expend each and every single one of those blue walls. McRory taking those shot pops his time turner as well. Beautiful nade down. Monarch gets caught off guard, and that bounce off of the tree was absolute perfection from McRory.
Apa kabar, Free Fire? Selamat datang.
Survivors, tayo perlukan sokongan. Carikan kunci. Keluarkan saya dari sini.
Welcome back to Day 8 of the MCP Major Season 2. My name is Hauler, and with me is Danny. What do we have in store in the Group B versus Group C matchup?
Well, there's a lot in store because I think we all agree that Group C is considered the group of death. The group is absolutely stacked. Now, not to say that Group B are not strong. They do have SAF, they do have Argon MY, who has been competing rather well. I think the question is, how fierce is the competition going to be? Because we already saw a couple of changes happening in Groups A and B, where some of the teams that haven't been doing so well thus far have suddenly come out of their shells and are here to party and have picked up a number of points. Now, in terms of B versus C, is this the same? We did see them compete yesterday. And I have to say that I think what ended up happening in Group B versus C was some of the top tier teams did better in this grouping. And I found that rather interesting, Hula.
Yeah, Group B got all of the kills at the end of the day. I think point-wise, placement-wise, they weren't as high, but in terms of actual kills, Group B is a bunch of, serial killers at the end of the day. Group C, on the other hand, I felt like, they were kind of not as high in terms of points. I think average-wise, it was definitely much lower of all of them. In terms of performance from yesterday, the one team that really stuck out, or two teams, excuse me, Tactical Intex, they had scored 41 points yesterday. They scored 43 points on day 6. And if we're looking at the overall standings here, you're kind of seeing that they're kind of in the middle to bottomish area, but they haven't played those 2 matches yet, so they do need to play a little bit of catch-up here. But Tactical Intex was one that really stuck out to me. Zeth Squad was the other one. They scored a pretty good 30 points. We haven't seen too much from Zeth Squad, and I just wanted to make sure give them a shout out because their average points is 21 points in a day, and scoring 30 is definitely above that one. So Zeth Squad really picked it up yesterday.
Yeah. Now, I also want to take into consideration that this is now time for teams in Group C to start picking up their points, right? So I think the 3 big teams that we were looking at was AKO Legends, Tactical Intex, and 4X-Men Expert. I have to ask you though, what happened to Umbrella Reborn? I think this is a team that we were talking about earlier during the season. These guys were consistent. They've been able to pick up points, but then they've sort of fallen off the radar.
Yeah, they've been, there was like a small little peak in terms of consistency, and then they just go straight inconsistent, and it's like straight, average throughout. They're on the bottom looking up because of that. Yeah, I'm
scared that we jinx them because I remember during the week that they were performing well, we were praising the team because they were showing consistency in terms of points. Like, sure, they might be getting a couple here and there, but they've been able to secure those points, whereas some teams, they have fantastic weeks, and then you have other teams where they just bomb out and do terribly. So,
speaking of bombing out, like 4X, 17 points yesterday, right?
Yes.
If we're gonna if any team needs to just do a little self-inflection, this is the team that needs to kind of pick it up. 4X-Men Expert were completely off yesterday. I don't know what was wrong with them.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they can pick it up today, but we have to see if this is a case of them struggling because of their grouping, because we got to be honest, they've got some pretty tough teams in their group alone. Like, they always have to play with AKO Legends and Tactical Intex, right? Like, these teams are not going to leave, and it makes you wonder, is 4X-Men Expert struggling because they have to always play with these 2 teams, or is it an issue with the groupings in general? Do they just struggle because their kryptonites are in groups A and B?
At the same time, they kind of balance it out with Cannot Brain and Zeth Squad. Not to, shots fired, I guess, for both of those teams. But they're kind of on the bottom, right? You're going to get your points some way. They've averaged it out. I felt like the overall spread wasn't the worst thing for, 4X-Men Expert and AKO Legend because of the fact that you have that, the spread out of all the points and the different, placements of the teams and the skill set that you're seeing right now. So I feel like Group C is, yes, they might be okay. I still feel like Group B is definitely the strongest just because you have SAF. That is just a powerhouse.
I think so as well. Anyways, for people that are just tuning into the broadcast, so this is just game 1 for groups B versus C. We already concluded A versus B, and that was a pretty intense matchup. If you missed it, make sure to watch it after this broadcast. Purgatory is our first map of the day, though. Now, we saw that Purgatory today was very top heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a lot of action, and I like to see more of that in terms of match 1 because that was just nothing but fireworks. But let's go into the game. It's going to be Purgatory. This is going to be match 3 of the day. It's going to be AJ and Neptune. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Holler and Danny, and we are back, your casters. I am Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia. Together with me is Mustachio AJ, and I'm so excited to see a new set of groups, AJ, to go into this fight, and we'll have to find out, will it be as crazy as we've seen from match number 1?
Oh, absolutely, man. Yesterday was the shuffle for all of the groups, and it's understandable as to why some of these teams are finding it a little bit difficult to get the pace where we saw within the first half of the MCP Major Season 2 in itself. But let's see if or not today is the day they find their stride right back. And I'm looking at very specific teams in here. 4X-Men Expert, Umbrella Reborn, these two, Danny as well as Holler, they've already managed to touch on, their performance a little bit. I think today is going to be a little bit bit different, man. For X-Men Expert, if anything, we know them to be a squad that winds up a little bit slowly, but once they hit their momentum, they'll go all out guns blazing. The surprising thing for me, at the early stages of the group stages in MCP Major Season 2, for X-Men Expert actually had a great start to the competition. They were on quite the momentum.
Yeah, indeed. And towards the last part, they're just catching up on the placement point and not too much on the kills. So we'll have to find out. If probably they figured out this strategy already on this game and the placements that they have on this map. Because so far, as we look into the map, we have Bloody Head still going into Ski Lodge and two teams, Umbrella Reborn and Argon MY, who might be just across each other, but it is Metrics who will be getting near to Umbrella Reborn. I don't think it might be good for them, and there you go. We have in there the first blood being taken by Argon or by Metrics in there, and Argon MY. No, it's Argon MY from across the river who are shooting them down.
This is a GG for Umbrella Reborn. Cannot Brain's going to get their nose stuck in where it doesn't belong, and those noses are going to get broken off as well by the players of Metrics. Manchai going in for the full-on snuff. Is going to be able to, does not catch the player who manages to jump through right in through the window and get away from them. It's going to be iPads from the back, but finally gets taken down by Rin OP. And now the second challenge will step up. Cannot Brain from afar, Gun, Samurai, as well as Irons. They've heard those shots already, and they might be able to snuff out the team of Metrics. Cannot Brain, they sit down at the very, very bottom right now. If they don't take this matchup well, they're going to be quite disappointed with themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they are in here. I think they're attempting for a vulture gameplay, but I don't think Metrics did really lost some of the teammates. And with that, this early into the game, and Cannot Brain, I don't think they were able to get that much loot as well. A little bit too bold for them to rush in like this, and I think this is time for them to back off a little bit. That's just me, but this is the chance for them to back off because Metrics has already regrouped, and just in case they survived and gunshots has been heard, Argon MY is just hanging back in there across the river, so they might be taking those shots as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, Argon MY, Do Easy, both of these squads, they are clearly, looking at this map, looking at this matchup and wondering exactly what's going to take for Metrics to drop some of these early points, right? Because Metrics, they've just extended their lead in the 12th position with 4 more points. And Cannot Brain, I think this is going to be a smart move from them. Please get out of this compound. Metrics is not one to be trifled with. And Guns will be able to spot a player running towards the right-hand side of that house, but very good call from him. Trigger discipline at its finest, not going in for the snuff at all. He is waiting, playing the game of patience, and that's going to bring Cannot Brain quite a far way along in this matchup as long as they can maintain that trigger discipline, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is, they're backing off a little bit. I think they heard us when we say that because, well, when you're in a compound, you have a great advantage. And Metrics has a great advantage on that fight. Now, we've seen how they were able to take down, though, Umbrella Reborn doesn't have any loots just yet. And plus, no covers. XBR might be in the same position just in case they pushed on that fight. Now, Argon MY, I thought they're going to cross back and go in for a fight, and that will be a 14 fight if that happened. But they backed out a little bit and went in, just gather up some loot down here, and not too far from the circle. So there's still a chance for them to catch up onto the points later on.
Yeah, Metrics now moving straight towards Freedom Rumble. I don't think that's going to be the best decision of all. And the way they are moving, it looks like they are going to be losing sight of their compound. And if they don't have cover, one mistake is all they will need to make. Then Freedom Rumble will be able to literally tapao them out of this lobby, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And let's see if or not that does happen. It is the side of Metrics that's struggling to stay in the top 12. Do Easy, Argon MY. Well, technically, none of the teams below Metrics, from the 13th all the way down to that 17th position, none of them are easing off in terms of their momentum in these matches, right? Metrics needs to continuously stay at the very top of their game if they want to stay in the top 12, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely, because the teams has been challenged already. This is we're past the halfway mark of this league, and they have been challenged to like put the pedal to the metal, bring it on whatever you have on your pockets, especially for those who are on the second half of the leaderboards, because this is your chance. I mean, you waited long enough for a few more weeks to get
GG.
those tactics out, and well, you just have to bring it all right now and to find out if that will bring you to the top 12 and probably make it out on the finals, the top on the finals, which is possible.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the movement coming in here from Freedom Rumble. The terrain giving them a little bit of cover. The tree just blocks the view of Rin OP as all of the players from Freedom Rumble cross over to another compound for themselves. And this is a better angle to hold on to against Metrics. And the players from Metrics need to take this fight very, very carefully. The one thing that will be messing up all of the plans from Metrics is if that blue zone comes in and forces them out of this compound a little bit earlier. If that blue zone forces both Metrics as well as Freedom Rumble at the same time out of this compound, yeah, maybe different scenarios might be able to break down. But we'll jump on over to Do Easy as they potentially will be coming up against Tactical Intex here. Bayet jumping out of his vehicle, taking a couple of pot shots against the players from ITX just so that his team members can go in and make sure they can recover themselves. Beautiful plays coming in here from Do Easy so far, but the compound that they hold on to at Golf Course is going to be an absolute terrible one, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not buying the position of Do Easy right here. I mean, they have a chance to go a little bit closer to get a little bit of cover in there, or probably not too close. But this position, yeah, they have their ridge, they can prone, but they might have a disadvantage here. But seeing how Bayet tries to fire back on Tactical Intex right here, the good accuracy. Oh, we have the pet blocking the position right now, and I really hate that. Oh my goodness!
Oh, that freaking fiery monkey blocks Bayet's view, bro. Dude, that's the first time I'm seeing a pet just throw a couple, just some sand in the eyes of their owners, bro. That's unfortunate, Neptune.
I think Bayet is getting a lot of attention, and the pet just want a little bit of attention as well.
Oh, absolutely unfortunate. Now, they had to waste that medkit, a glue wall being pulled out as well, even though they've got quite a nice elevation here with the ground that they hold onto. But look at this, Neptune, Tactical Intex, they're pulling off a long flank, bro. If they manage to pull this off, they might be able to bag all 4 points. But we'll jump on over. 4X-Men Expert taking the fight up against Bloody Heads, and Spade has to pull out his time turner, the glue wall right in front of him, just to make sure Bloody Heads does not manage to tap out this guy out of this equation. Maru heals himself up. He has got a compound for himself, which means Bloody Heads better be careful. But we can notice that one player, Mark alone, the sniper from the side of Bloody Heads, he has separated from the squad. If he goes up and takes that vantage point on that hill, that will be the perfect flank. And 4X-Men Expert, they might get snuffed out early here.
Yeah, I mean, but I think Mark has been sighted already, and there you go, being shot at. The moment that he peeks, we have Goku in here, as well as another one, just taking a look at that rock. The moment that they peek, they'll be able to take down those hits, and there you go! That's what I'm talking about. Goku with accuracy and all, the pickup is being done, and this is what I'm talking about. The head that, the moment that you bring out your head with the snipers that we have in this game, the players that we have in this game, there's no chance that you will not be hit in there, and you need a better position, a better elevation or compound to hide at.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They always say it's easier to look down rather than it is to look up in mobile games, and I absolutely agree. Aiming gets a little bit more convenient, but when you're on that lower ground, you get the head glitch, and that's exactly what you're just pointing out, right, Neptune? You get a free shot directly towards their heads, especially if they make a mistake, and that can just literally turn that situation around so fast. And now Bloody Heads as well as 4X-Men Expert, they have to abandon this fight up against each other and focus on moving in towards the next safe zone. And I love the ideation coming in from both squads as they break away and move their individual parts. They are going to be saving a little bit of that firepower for later on.
Yeah, and what's a good play in here for Set Squad as well. So this is a one tactic that we've seen another use of the vehicle as cover as they try to destroy it. But here we go, the push is on. We have Cannot Brain in here trying to go in against Dweezy. Shy right now is being rushed, and 2 members will be going in here. Will there be a takedown? No, Bias was able to or was taken down by the vehicle coming from Sap right here, and Sap will be joining the party, AJ.
Marine Irons now, they hold on to one of the worst compounds to hold on to, one of the worst positions. The Watchtower, one nade should be able to snuff all of them out. Only the Time Turner can help them in a situation like that. Pulling out the glue wall will do absolute jack for their safety. Let's go as well as Forbits on the ground. Daemoon and McRory trying to pick their friends right back up. Daemoon should be successful in here. Let's go right back on his feet, and Forbits will be picked right back up as well. But look at Argon MY coming in for the push. Pedro as well as me, they will stop right behind. Argon MY, did they just make the biggest mistakes of their lives? They will go in straight for Daemoon. Forbit right back on the ground. Pedro goes in. Let's go on the ground as well. Daemoon tries to strike back, but McRory, the final player left in here. Argon MY, they eliminate SAF Neptune.
And yes, and the fight is not yet over because Cannot Brain is trying to feed off that battle, but Argon MY didn't really lose any members, and one has been taken down, and another takedown. Oh my god, Argon MY back to back wipeout.
What a spicy show of tenacity coming out here from Argon MY. They snuff out Cannot Brain. Just before that, they snuffed out those that lead the leaderboards, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The Supreme Assault Forces literally got assaulted right there, Neptune.
Yeah, and they just came out of nowhere. I mean, they're just going. I thought they were just going for the drive-by, but no, they pulled out. They pulled out from the vehicles and just stopped over. I think they're hungry for those kills, and they're getting for those takeouts, as what you mentioned, AJ.
And you know what? This was a situation that they know they have to face because for as far as they are concerned in here, Argon MY, they sit in the exact same group as Dweezy. And they just have to make sure that Dweezy does slightly worse than them each and every single match. But my friend, that's a little bit easier said than done. In this one particular game, Dweezy seems to have dropped out a little bit early, but they always seem to bounce right back. And 9 points away is what Argon MY is in terms of catching up with Dweezy. This might be the match that they get that sorted out, but they can't rest well because the competition at the bottom to get into the top 12 is just so hot, and it has been hot throughout the whole of the Season 2 for the MCP Majors.
Definitely, AJ. And you did mention, I mean, they can hope, they can pray that the team that they're trying to catch up will not be performing. But again, it's wishing that the other teams. Well, it's wishing for a different guy who have a different mindset. So it's more of improving how you do your thing, and that's what Argon MY is doing right now. They're improving themselves, and they are wiping everyone out as they are going in here against the Bloody Heads and another team who's trying to go in and catch up onto the leaderboards. I think this will be a heated battle because these teams are hungry for blood.
Oh, absolutely, man. Bloody Heads, a little bit of a higher class, if you ask me, in comparison to the other fights that Argon MY has taken, because they are the game changer. Bloody Heads, similar to Argon MY, they can snuff out SAF if they wanted to, if they are on form. And Bloody Heads, they look like they are on form. They fire right back towards the players from Argon MY, and the aggression from Argon MY dies down instantaneously. Mark now on the ground. Cryfu, he should be able to put on a little bit of pressure to make sure Pedro does not come in with the aggression, but the nades from X2R as well as Pedro will be pushing them back. Maute as well as Mark taken out by Sparks as well as his grenade. Morgana on the ground as well. Cryfu gets eliminated. Argon MY, they are on fire. But now for X-Men stepping up into this fire. Are we looking at a different match?
Yeah, and there you go. 4X-Man Expert. Oh my god, no! The reverse sweep by 4X-Man Expert in there against Argon MY. And when we thought they are on the roll, but they have a lot of kills already. So I think they can rest for a bit for now.
That was such a disappointing moment for us to switch our view over to Tactical Intex. Congratulations, Z Squad, as well as Tactical Intex, but dude, I wanted to watch that fight between 4X-Men Expert as well as... it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, some stuff happens. It's a little bit out of our control, just like how it is out of control from Monarchs and to pick Blade up because he's stuck in a sticky situation, man. Blade is a bye-bye. Monarch will need to play some of these placement points for himself and to approach that next safe zone. Monarch's just going in to loot his friend first by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be going out in the open after 13 seconds. So I think he needs a lot more loot to be able to survive, if he will survive. The rest of the teams are already in here, and 4X-Men Expert just decimating that lead, that momentum from Argon MY. But Argon MY, really, they are on fire right now. I'm quite surprised as how they're doing it.
With the grenade launcher from 4X-Men Expert, that stride from the side of Argon MY came to an end pretty quickly. And this is one more time the issue for a team like Argon MY. Not only do they have to focus in on Do Easy, they also have to focus in on Metrics, bro. Metrics holds on to the 12th position. And if it's not Do Easy, it's Metrics, right? Argon MY constantly faces this problem no matter how well they do. Metrics and Do Easy, bloody heads included, always finds a way to do slightly better than them, and they've just been stuck right there, not being able to make it into the top 12. And I hope they don't fall into the sort of stride that Zed as well as Umbrella Reborn as well as Cannot Brain has fallen into, right, where we see amazing plays, tremendous strategies, and then when they're not able to catch up, they just give up on those aggression and they just play normally once again.
Well, we've seen that story before. I mean, being stuck on a certain point, like moving up and down on a certain point, and there's AKO Legends, and we just saw Maru in there, just trying to take out those glue walls, just to make sure that they hit them and hit them hard, because they have this circle and they have the advantage. So we're talking about the placement of the teams in here. Oh, no one has been hit, and let's see how are this teams going to respond against this hit by 4X-Man Expert, AJ.
Yeah, 4X-Men Expert, bro. We called it already. This was a squad that is going to be very, very, very much in our crosshairs as we look exactly how they will be able to catch up back today. Yesterday, they didn't really provide us all of that entertainment that we were looking for. But now, against the side of Metrics, they should be able to deliver. Maru, and he has got the LMG, and he takes Manchai out of the equation. 4X-Men Expert coming in for the backstab onto Shavik, and it is game over. 4X-Men Expert, they pick the booyah up that they truly deserve. Rybal, Goku, Spade, Logan, Maru, as well as Jabat, they strike once again after they rest one day of checking out how their opponents are in this new group. Neptune.
Oh my god, 4X-Man Expert. I think what I'm loving right now for this team is the delegation of this team. We saw Maru, I think it was Maru in there with 0 kills before that push. And they were just taking out all the glue walls, and the rest of the teams are the ones in charge of going for the grenade as well as for the flank and the kills. And this delegation, this communication, this way of tactic would be their way up onto the leaderboards, AJ.
Absolutely, man. I cannot agree more. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on that note, let us bring our hosts right back in here, Danny as well as Holler. Welcome back, guys. Holler, my man, what did you think of 4X-Men Expert and their performance today in comparison to yesterday?
Oh, it's night and day, right? I mean, they scored 17 points today. They got way more than that with the booyah and the number of kills. Just 4X-Men Expert, their positioning on that hill, the elevation was very, very good. They gave AKO Legend 0 chance to do anything. There was it was perfect throughout. I don't know if they're just lucky with the circle or whatever, but the way they had the glue walls and that side of the ridge, that hill, it was just very well played by 4X-Men Expert.
Absolutely. Danny?
I'm just glad that 4X-Men are actually been able to make a mark today, considering that yesterday was a flop. I mean, this was a long time coming. But the thing is that going to be a one-game thing, right? Yeah. Because we saw them flop yesterday. There's a very high probability that the team could potentially flop again today. Yeah. But that one good match, it's a good sign, because we saw yesterday any teams that did really good in their first game or at least a game, the following games were great as well. So I'm really looking forward to game 2 if 4X-Men is going to be able to stay up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Neptune, we kind of talked about this during the matchup itself. 4X-Men Expert, a squad that takes a while to wind up. But, in terms of consistency, they have been able to consistently bag those points, but not really bag the Booyah up with confidence like how Supreme Assault Forces or even, the side of PXG Radicals have been able to do. Do you think, based on that matchup, they should be able to continue this momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I think these days, like the reshuffle that they have, a lot of teams are anxious of how they're going to react with these teams. And some of these teams like Argon MY and those who are doing well after the reshuffle, they have the confidence already. They have the momentum and they're not anxious anymore. They're just in here to apply what they learned and do well.
What do you guys think of the Argon eliminating SAF? That seemed like an ultimate upset. What are your thoughts on that, AJ?
Argon MY, man. I mean, what can we say? They've been on fire. But just like I said earlier on to Neptune as well, I don't want to get excited. We've seen Zeth go through this phase. We have seen, Umbrella Reborn go through this phase. Tactical Intex as well. Although, that being said, Tactical Intex is not really in a bad situation. But we've seen them rise up to the top in terms of aggression. And then it just mellows off, right? Consistency is key. I know that's the bad word in this particular production. But we need to find exactly that consistency. And 4X-Men Expert, I don't know, man. I've definitely become a fan since FFMC, and seeing them get into stride early on at the MCP majors really, took the confidence that I had in them and bounced it right up to the top, right? But for Argon MY, I don't know if I'm feeling the exact same vibes, Holler.
All right, okay. What do you think about the Zeth team, though? I mean, they got third points in terms of the placement there. But before we do that, let's go into the code, which is going to be flashing on the screen. Right now is the time. Take the screenshot. Make sure you redeem that as quickly as possible. Mind you, you have the time. All it takes is that you can just redeem it by the end of the stream. You can share it. It's not a first come, first serve, but it's just, whoever can redeem it. Everybody, I believe, can redeem too. There's going to be codes throughout, so feel free to just tune in. Make sure that you do get that, because that will go away at the end of this stream. But sorry, Neptune, Zeth Squad, they scored a decent number yesterday in terms of the 30 points. They had a pretty decent game in that one. That's a pretty good start to the day. But what are your thoughts on this Zeth Squad?
Well, it's just a C word. If they'll be able to manage to get that, like, I don't want to say it anymore. I warned that I won't be saying it, but I said it anyway. So right now, no.
All right, so let's look at the round standings after that one. This is, of course, match 3, Group B versus C. You see that PXG Radicals, 24 points. Argon Malaysia with 15 points, 6 kills. And Almighty, though, these guys are coming out angry as they've got 8 kills, 13 points to their name. Yeah, they get eliminated, but they're getting a whole bunch of kills on their way out. AJ, do you think that that's the right strategy?
I don't even think this is the right leaderboards, round standings. Yeah, maybe we can change this first, guys. Production, come on, production, show my face, please. Thank you. I was out. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's it? Is it me?
No. It's supposed. I think they just they did the titles, or they didn't do the names, because it's still match 3. I think that at 4X-Men Expert, I think they had 12 kills at the end. So.
We'll wait for their update, but yeah, 4X-Men Expert as usual, right? They jump onto the top. I'm very, very, very curious to see if or not they can maintain their consistency, because the one trend with 4X-Men Expert so far is that they always go out there, they do their homework, and the moment they know exactly how to take some of their drop zones, the moment they know how to take their matches as well as their rotations in towards their safe zones based on the groupings that they've been set up with, that's when we will be able to see them go all out, right? And it's quite surprising to see them catch up so fast, because their performance from yesterday versus today, like you mentioned, Holler, day and night. But let's take a peek at the scores once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the previous matchup and see exactly how well the teams did.
All right, so it looks like Bermuda is going to be the next match. This is going to be match 4, B versus C. AJ and Neptune, please take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have to point this out. If we were in a physical location, pulling off this competition without any hiccups whatsoever wouldn't be a much of an issue at all. But, in the world of the online broadcast, a couple of hiccups are most definitely, things that we can look forward to, right, in terms of consistency. But we'll try. We'll try our best to catch up and sort all of those things out, all right? Bermuda, this time around, I am looking forward to seeing 4X-Men Expert step it up once again. But, Neptune, I'm very curious, man, whether or not Argon MY will be able to bag the Booyah this time around. Because this team has finally managed to stand up straight after weeks and weeks and weeks of getting battered in the MCP Major Season 2.
Yeah, I think there is a possibility, but a lot of teams are trying to stop them, so it lowers the possibility. But no! A little too quick, Do Easy making an easy against Metrics right there, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why I won't think that it is a possibility, or there's a small chance that Argon MY might not be able to take the Booyah, because a lot of teams are also chasing for the Booyah and for the kill points, and like Do Easy per se, they are trying to catch up on the kills, and they are a big threat to those at the bottom of the leaderboards who's also going for the catch up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Do Easy. What? Who did they kill so early, man? Each and every single player, one kill on the board. I'm sorry, because I was a little bit distracted, Neptune. Who did Do Easy take out?
It shows elimination of Metrics from that game.
GG, bro.
GG
for Metrics.
Too early.
And we were kind of talking about this. Argon MY, every single time they do well, either Do Easy or Metrics does slightly better. And in this circumstance, Do Easy has snuffed Metrics out, which means the probability of Do Easy doing slightly better than Argon MY once again is going to be there. These guys have found that momentum early on already. And that's the biggest issue for Argon MY, right? Not only do they have to make sure they do really, really, really well, they also have to hope and pray that, teams like Do Easy as well as Metrics, they don't get that momentum early on in the game, because they clearly have proven themselves to be able to take those matches and turn it into something towards the very end, Neptune.
Yeah, and another team who's playing catch up is Bloody Heads right now. And as you can see, we saw Morgana take the attention of Argon MY. The rest of the teams are going for the flank, and they've already taken down one member of Argon MY, or if not two. But Argon MY is moving away from Mars Electric right now, and Bloody Heads is taking over. And this is what I'm talking about. Those teams trying to catch up, regardless of who they're going against, because they've seen the performance of the top teams, and it's not really that well towards this week. So they have the confidence that whoever they go against, they can just fire and shoot and take down, and then they'll be able to move up the ranks. And that is the mindset, I believe, of those in the lower part. And there you go, what a push by Tactical Index against Umbrella Reborn. And Umbrella Reborn not really very lucky in this game. As you can see, a lot of members has been taken down already by Tactical Index right here, and the Blight is on, trying to get away, and Tactical Index will be left, and Umbrella Reborn really stunned for that gameplay.
Reminds me of the Filipino meme, man. Okay, thank you for coming. ITX. That was just way too easy, and that one player from Umbrella Reborn that bailed out of that situation, the guy propelled himself into the sky, and we just have got no idea exactly where he landed. But 4X-Men Expert now with the opportunity to snuff out Argon MY. They might be able to complete the work of Bloody Heads. And 4X-Men Expert, earlier on, they managed to pull the Booyah up for themselves. But if a team is capable of taking them down early in an unsuspecting manner, that is Argon MY. They found their stride. But let's see if or not 4X-Men Expert gets caught here, because they have managed to run quite far away.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think if that happened, that will be the revenge of Argon MY for killing the streak that they have by 4X-Man Expert. And 4X-Man Expert, I think that the tactics that we've seen so far, go it slow in the start of the game and the moment that you have everything that you need, or probably a pattern of compound wherein you'll be able to pass by a lot of loose the moment you end your engagement. Oh, there you go. Mark was just, I don't know, was Mark swimming or Mark was just staying there because he was just shot down in the water and there's no chance for the defense right here. And that's a good start for Kenneth Brain right now, but not enough members from Bloody Heads to be able to pick up on that point. Now, I was saying if they'll be able to go in for this fight. Oh, Argon MY slowly being taken down by Freedom Rumble AJ.
Argon MY looks like this is that one match where their luck is just as good as how my luck in the past used to be. Absolutely shit. They seem to be jumping out from compound to compound and they keep getting stuck between squads, man. And every single time they come across someone, they lose one player and then they move on to another compound. None of these teams giving Argon MY any room to breathe at all. And SAF might get caught out here by Do Easy because if they focus on in, they might be able to pull a quick pinch and a flank. But SAF, with the speed of movement out of that situation, they know they might get caught out and they do not stand by to check out anything else. SAF turns around, takes down a player from Do Easy. Shah on the ground has not gotten deleted just yet. And what I thought would be Do Easy's opportunity to snuff out SAF just turns around so quickly. I mean, SAF is just that one team which is so difficult to overcome in terms of strategy, Neptune.
Yeah, I think it's more of what we mentioned earlier. If you're on the high ground, you have a better chance of taking down those on the low ground. But it has been turned around. All of the teams, those are basic. Those are basic. And these teams, these competitive teams right now, know how to break and bend the basics to their will. That's why they're doing so great in this. And that's why they're in this tournament.
Nah, I cannot agree more, bro. Do Easy, their player picked right back up, and 4X-Men Expert will once again have an opportunity to snuff them out. They hold on to Peak. The compound within Peak itself is quite big, quite wide. The houses are set quite far apart. And if 4X-Men Expert is able to catch up with Do Easy by some chance, they might be able to snuff them out because Do Easy is about to run into the open fields. But 4X-Men Expert, it looks like their trajectory is slightly off path, and they're not going to be coming across Do Easy anytime soon. We'll jump on over to Cannot Brain, who seems to be absolutely fine as they move on towards Pochana.
One thing that I'm seeing right now, every time we jump into Bermuda, these teams tend to slow down on their aggression, and I think it's a matter of the knowledge of these teams because there's a familiar map for everyone that it's very difficult to be complacent at this point, and they just try to go in at least to the final stretch or say third or fourth phase of the game before they really bring it out.
Argon MY, by the way, bro, is literally 12 points away from Metrics to getting into that 12th spot. So what they have to hope and pray for is for Metrics to not make anything out of this particular match, and they get into that final zone. If Metrics gets eliminated early, and we can see Argon MY get into that final zone to pick up the placement points, but potentially even a booyah up for themselves, bro. 15 points, that's all they need to sneak into the 12th position. And I feel like that's very important. It's important that Argon MY achieves that because it's going to be a huge momentum boost, and it's literally getting rewarded instantaneously for all of your efforts, which is huge for your spirits, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm not mistaken, the first team who has eliminated here is Metrics, and there you go.
Yeah.
So there's a chance. There's a moment that you just mentioned, AJ. This is their chance. Hopefully they'll be able to fortify this with a good placement and a good kills as well, because it will be difficult if you have that chance and then just gave it up afterwards. But with the members that we have from Argon MY having only 2 left, it's more of the placement chase that they need, but they're outside of the circle right now. Not quite sure what they're doing there, but hopefully they haven't given up just yet.
Hey Nep, you want to know something, bro? If Bloody Heads drops out early as well, just like Metrics,
Yeah.
and we see Argon MY pick up about 16 or 17 points, they will jump up 2 spots from the 13th all the way into the 11th position. Dude, Argon MY, they are on a roll, man, from yesterday into today. And if they manage to pull this off in 1 week, they would have changed their fate through already. And once again, that's going to be such a huge momentum boost for them, Neptune.
Definitely. I mean, we've seen these teams. I think the reason why these teams are making their way from like not really the bottom, but from middle moving up is because they've seen it has been done by other teams, and it gives them the motivation,
Yeah.
and the competitive part of them gives them that idea that they can do it as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Amen to that. Do Easy now taking the fight up against Freedom Rumble, who needs to be really careful because they seem to have been pinched here by the Z squad right behind them. Zero to Hero, the squad that hasn't been showing us much of those hero qualities, will be backing away from this compound. And I think that's a brilliant idea for X-Men Expert trying to get into the blue zone as well. The next blue zone, I have to mention. But as they try to get that completed, moving on into Pochinok, they might be able to catch Do Easy off guard as well. For X-Men Expert, they are aiming for their second Booyah in here back to back, and I think they might be able to pull it off, but they have to be really, really careful though, because this is the matchup between B and C. Even if you do get anything in this particular matchup, later on when Squad A comes right back into the mix, Blacklist International, Views, PXG, Almighty, Fastkill MY, dude, that's going to be very tough. So for X-Men Expert, if there's any time to do it, now, this lobby is the time to do it.
Oh my god, speaking of doing it, here comes Z Squad doing it against AKO right now. It's only one man down, and I think they've already knocked down a lot of members in here from AKO. But here comes the rest of the teams going for the rush. 2 down already. It's Type 64 and Lavitz right here, and the pickup has been made for Monarch. Now we also have the staff in there. Oh no! There goes the Grenade King giving it out to Z Squad, AKO Legend being taken out as well. That is how we do it, Sap says.
Oh, what a interference, man. Absolute perfection. Beautiful toss of the nade up onto the platform. SAF, they are the winners of that factory battle. It was an unfortunate situation to get caught in, but you know, it's all about how you respond in those microseconds. SAF, they identified an opportunity, a couple of grades up onto the platform, pulls everything into the bag, and they didn't even drop anyone in that fight. What a way to move. And this, once again, Neptune, this is what I'm talking about, right? SAF, you know, slightly similar to the situation that's breaking down in that 12th position catch-up where as the teams do well, the team that is above them somehow or rather manages to drag those points into the bag as well. And as all the teams try to close the gap between themselves as well as Supreme Assault Forces, SAF continuously finds these momentous occasions to pull themselves away from the pack. And I feel like they're absolutely unstoppable at the MCP Majors right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. I take back what I said earlier. SAF has what it takes to go in this week. And we're talking about this week. We're talking about today. Because, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of movement. I'm just trying to analyze how they did it. They probably timed like the moment that they saw the kill feed and kill feed after kill feed between these two teams. And they just know that they're above them. And that one grenade, they'll be able to take them out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Now cannot brain. Oh, Argon MY with X2R running outside of the zone. Samurai is going to be punishing this guy. X2R, I don't know how many more seconds he has bought for himself, but Samurai says, bro, you've got the katana in your hands, and the blue zone! Oh, does not take him out! Will Samurai get the kill? One more shot, and yes, he does! X2R really cheeky, running out, giving his life over to the blue zone, but it was all way too late. I mean, he could have done that if he had popped out the glue wall just before getting knocked down.
Yeah, and too bad for Argon MY. I mean, they've been pushed outside the zone too far, and they've been gate kept in there. Now, looking at Freedom Rumble, this is a new gameplay that I'm seeing from Freedom Rumble. They're not rushing at all. They're going almighty at this point. This is a usual almighty gameplay that we've seen, and not quite sure if this will work. But I mentioned how teams are adapting gameplays from other teams, and there you go, Drags right now going against Goku, and another team will be in there. The 2-2 split is not working for the side of 4X-Man Expert, AJ.
Oh, it definitely isn't working, but that blue zone definitely putting on so much of pressure onto 4X-Men Expert. Goku now going to top his health right back up. They have to take care of Cannot Brain first before they try to take over the compound from Bloody Heads as well as SAF. But SAF should be able to clear out all of those areas before 4X-Men Expert comes in here for the access. Spade now out in the open. They should be able to use the momentum as well as all of this terrain to their advantage. Maru using this huge tree to block out all of those vision as well as shots coming in from Cannot Brain, but the flank needs to be pulled off. 4X-Men Expert abandoning that fight instead to get into the next zone, which I think is the better idea. But as they try to sneak in, it is going to be Goku who takes Irons down. Goku immediately drops Guns out of the equation as well with a nade, but we switch on over to ITX, who are going in for a tough fight against Bloody Heads. Bloody Heads caught between ITX as well as SAF. SAF from the back. Can they take advantage once again with those nades? Zapnu just running out, and Arins will be able to take tricks as well as shot goes down by Cryfu. Daemoon from the back. They will be able to come in with the pressure, and SAF very quickly takes over this compound once again. Beautiful response coming in here from Nell, and Nell will be able to go in for a couple of knocks. Daemoon takes Zapnu out of the equation, and it's all left up to Nell. Will he be able to survive? The numbers game catches up, and SAF, they win that battle once again, and Daemoon is not even dead yet.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, I thought they'll be able to turn it around, but no, Saf is in there. Like what I mentioned, like what you said, they will not be going down easily. Here comes 4X-Man Expert, the opportunity to go in for the kill, but no, we have 2 down already from side of 4X-Man Expert. Now, Maru is already out. Spade is here trying to defend these members of this team. 3 members, 1 grenade will definitely take them out, but Cannot Brain might not have that idea, and they need to rush in a little bit, because in 20 seconds, they need to rush into the zone, and 2 teams, or if not 3, is already in there trying to gatekeep them.
Yeah, Spade is just going to be able to snuff all of these guys out very easily, man. He takes control of that boulder, jumps right up onto it. Samurai now, 1 gets taken down. Samurai should be able to respond a little bit, goes in for the pickup onto 1, and Spade going in for each and every single one of those shots against that blue wall. Every time you go in for a shot with that sniper, you should be able to damage, should be able to... Oh, come on, bro. That nade does absolutely nothing because his team members snuff all of the rest of them out. Rybel gets taken out as well. Spade and Goku, a 2-man push from the side of 4X-Men Expert. McRory getting taken. Oh! McRory back on his feet, and SAF will still have the numbers advantage.
I don't know, are these guys immortal right now? They are still alive despite of the damage that has been done on them, and 4X-Man Expert will be eliminated on this game. We're now down to 4 teams. Oh, that will be 3 teams. And we have Sav in here, 3-man strong. Freedom Rumble will still be a full squad, and I think there's 1 from Bloody Heads who's still alive at this point, and that will change how they play this game, because Sav right now will be, or will not be preoccupied of looking out of a lot of teams, but Maute was able to take down one of Freedom Rumble, and I think it's in favor of Saf right here.
Oh, absolutely, man. And SAF should be able to go and ask those questions. McRory already cooking the nade up. Let's Go just backing up behind him. Now, they should be able to play with those glue walls. As you can see, Let's Go has got 10 of them, but no nades in hand. He should be able to heal himself up. But in that final zone, all of those medkits aren't going to be making such a huge difference. Those gunshots, the way you take those fights, it's all going to be about that. Bloody Heads make their exit. SAF, once again, snuffs out Freedom Rumble, and they pick the booyah up for themselves. No matter what the other teams do to catch right up, SAF, they managed to extend their lead at the top of the board. Let's Go, McRory, Toxic, Daemoon, as well as 4-Bits. Absolutely untouchable. They represent the Philippines, and they are making the Filipinos proud.
Definitely proud. And well, like I mentioned earlier, I took back what I said. They are on fire right now. Two matches already that they are really doing some damage, and a lot of teams are hoping that they can do the same, surviving despite of the situation with 3 man strong. After that, that was a really epic for the side of SAF at this point.
Absolutely, man. Well, on the note, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, let's welcome back our host, Danny, as well as Holler, so we can continue this conversation with them. Danny! SAF, right back on.
I was gonna say this is probably the best way to close out the day, right? I mean, they've been very average today, but I think they'd be very happy with themselves. They got so many kills going into there. I think last time I saw them, it was about 12, 13, and easily with 12 points on top of that with the placement points, these guys are sitting on about 20, you would think 26? I'm going to make a prediction 26 points.
Yeah. Holler, did you expect SAF to get up on top, man? I thought it was going to be a 4X-Man expert play all over again.
No. I called it going into this one, right? At least into the B versus C one. I thought that SAF didn't do well in the first 2 matches.
Yeah.
But they always find a way to get back in it, and they made sure that they got their points. SAF just looking to be in prime position. This is why these are the top dogs in this league, because, I mean, they get the kills. They get, McCrory is an absolute monster. Daemoon. I call him Damn because he's just so good. But he's like on point with everything. Like Daemoon was so good today.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the nades, every single time McCrory cooks that nade in his hand, Neptune, I know someone's going to die, bro.
Right, so we've just finished up both of Group B's matches. Now, I think we need to bring up a discussion point because SAF seems to struggle playing against Group A, but then when it comes to Group C, it's not as difficult, or at least it looks a little bit easier for the team. Has anyone been able to point out what are the fundamental differences between these 2 groups? Because clearly something is going on that is making it just extremely difficult for SAF to secure games.
I think it's mainly based on the fact that SAF doesn't need to be the ones in there doing all of the tough work, right? Because when you go in for the previous matchup that they had, A versus B, a lot of those teams were still alive and kicking as they went into the final zone. But when you come in and Group C is involved, Group C is full of hungry predators, right? They are constantly thinning out the herd before we get into that final zone, and it's just making the life of SAF so much more easier. Low in numbers, and technically in this matchup, SAF got lucky twice, right? They stumbled into 2 separate fights, and they were the third party in both of those fights. The nades were very, very well used in those situations, and both of those lucky moments happened at the exact same compound, so it looks like the gods of RNG just were with them all.
But I think there's more than luck in play, right? Like the blue circle is going to be happening, and I do agree with your assessment there of SAF in that sense. They're just very primed to be in the right position, and I think that comes back to more of the skill of the players because their awareness, the spatial awareness of just seeing other teams, the third partying that they do. They're able to hit their shots, and they make sure that they're not the ones that are being honed in on, right? They're always the predator, not the prey, and I think that we've seen this time and time again that SAF, hey, this is the best team out there. I don't know if there's any other team that can really compete with these guys.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Neptune, once again, we touched on this a little bit. You can expand on it a little bit further, bro. The split-second decision-making of instead of taking the stairs and stepping up and trying to shoot the players, those beautiful nades that landed up onto the platform by SAF. That, once again, it just proves the supremacy, and it kind of shows us exactly why they are at the very top, Neptune.
Yeah, they just know how to let it go when it's needed. And another point that, or before we go that, let me get this back to the host for the round standing.
Yeah, so this is going to be match 4. Sorry, I'm doing a little checking of making sure that SAF, they won. Okay, I'm just doing a little quick check just of the standings, making sure it's right this time around. But Frito Rumble with second place, 6 kills, 15 points. A 4X-Men expert. We did, they had a pretty good 2 games already, right? Even with 12 points, they got eliminated a little bit earlier. But at the end of the day, if you're able to get those kills, still top 3. Good showing there. Bloody Head picking it off, just playing a little possum, but being able to survive into the late game. So very smart play by Bloody Head. Interesting play there by Technical Intex as well with 5 kills, but eliminated super early. What are your thoughts on that one, AJ?
The bad C word, my friend. The bad C word. I don't know, man. Tactical Index, they were amazing last week. And then in comparison this week, they're not there, right? We could perhaps pin it onto the shuffle of the groups, similar to what's happening with Umbrella Reborn as well. Those guys seem to be struggling all of a sudden. We saw consistency. They weren't dropping below 10 points last week from each and every single game, but now it's a totally different story, right? So I don't know whether or not it is a matter of a Tactical Index is finding an issue with the groups, or they are underestimating themselves, because those go out super aggressive looking for kills. And then we also have our groups where they're holding back. They don't want to get into any of these engagements. They just want to secure those placement points for themselves. Although I agree that it's a great strat, you need to take some of these fights as well when you look at where you stand on the leaderboard, Holland.
All right. I do agree with you, and we're going to find out more just in terms of how Group C can continue to, to rain on the parade of the other teams. We're going to see what's going to happen, but we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to be back with Group A versus Group C. That will be coming up shortly. We'll see you soon.
Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fasco and Why they know where Do Easy is. Jembao, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Fade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
South Almighty! And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now, looking at the fire. Fast UNY coming through, Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. But Fast UNY not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow out, so that's extra points for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. 8 kill Ledge is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy lick shot. But he ran. Almighty suffers extra casualties. DXG Radicals now.
SAF, and they don't really have much of a compound here. They have to expend each and every single one of those blue walls. But McRory taking those shot pops, his time turner as well. Nade down. Monarch gets caught off guard, and that bounce off of the tree was absolute perfection from McRory.
Apa kabar, Free Fire? Selamat datang.
Survivors, tayo perlukan sokongan. Carikan kunci. Keluarkan saya dari sini.
Welcome back to Day 8 of the MCP Major Season 2. My name is Holler, and with me is Danny. We're down to our last two matches of the day. Danny, how are you feeling about this Group A versus Group C matchup?
I'm actually really excited when I see Group A. At first, I thought out of all the groups, it was going to be cut and dry. Lots of expected things supposed to happen. But that's not the case. We've actually had a lot of crazy stuff happening from Group A, where teams that, until I keep saying this, underperforming teams have been really showing up this weekend. Whether it be because of the group changes, or maybe they prepared something up until this point, or maybe because they are favoring the teams that they're grouped up with. It's hard to tell up until this point. But to see them going up against Group C, I think it's really going to shake things up, because again, some of these top teams have been struggling in these matchups, and I just feel like everyone always talks about Group B. I think it's to be expected. It has SAF, but I think Group A is the group that's the catalyst for a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we're looking at PXG Radicals, they had just a monster, a couple of games earlier. They have 7 Booyahs to match up, but they're still about 120 points behind SAF, which is crazy if you think about it. Almighty, though, has stepped up as well. I think they've gotten a decent number of kills. They've just been very aggressive today, so I think you need to look out for both of those two teams, at least in Group A. Blacklist International has not done plays here, but overall, they just haven't really shown up today. That said, back to Group C, I think Forex-Men Expert, you're seeing that this team, they got the Booyah, they've gotten a decent amount of kills. This is a team that's here to stay. They definitely want to just pick up what they can, try to catch up to Blacklist, who are not doing well here. So that's another matchup to look into. The final piece is, of course, going to be Tactical Intex. I think that it's, they're 9th place. They were kind of picking it up, but they haven't really been able to catch up to Woos, which is kind of crazy considering they're only 4 points away. What are your thoughts on that, Danny?
I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to catch up to Woos, right? Especially after their performance this weekend. Unless they pull out some miraculous games of the final 2 matches, which it could happen. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Woos have been very spectacular either. They've been hanging on. They've been struggling with these matchups. And I think the best way to describe this upcoming series between Group A and C is that these teams are going to be experiencing a drought of points because a lot of the front runners are in these 2 groups. Mm-hmm. So everyone's going to be fighting over those points, and it's either you hit the buffet or you're left picking up the bones.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually the playstyle of Woos in terms of Embelor, right? Like it's like feast or famine with this guy. He can get 8 kills in a round, and then there's sometimes where we don't even hear of his name for a while. So Embelor,
his name could appear in the kill feed first.
Yes, which is very sad, unfortunately. But we're going to find out. This is going to be match 5. This is Group A versus Group C. AJ, Neptune, please take it away.
Thank you once again, guys, for those insights. And AJ, I'm very excited to see another group fight it off today. We talk about how these teams has already changed the gameplays of everyone else, and really excited. Good insights from them. What do you think will be happening for today on ANC?
Okay. Well, the great thing is Argon MY, Do Easy, as well as Metrics, the 3 teams that were fighting like cats and dogs to get that 12th position or to keep the 12th position, they're not going to be playing anymore. And we can see a little bit more of Cannot Brain, Z Squad, as well as Umbrella Reborn, right? I've got my eyes on them. I want to see how much they will be able to achieve in the final 2 matches of today's group stages to be able to, at the very least, keep their fighting chance alive in here. Because if they don't manage to pull anything for themselves, clearly Argon MY, Metrics, as well as Do Easy, these guys are on absolute fire, right? Reaching up to the top. I mean, yes, we are curious as to how the upper side of the leaderboard does, but at the end of the day, group stages, top 12 teams move on. So this is the more exciting part to be looking at, Neptune.
Definitely. And as we move along onto this game, we're back to Purgatory right now. And these teams, some of the teams, I would say, AJ, are doing well on this map compared to the other ones. So probably that's also an advantage for them. But we'll have to see. We have to see furthermore. A lot of surprises have been shown to us all throughout the league, and especially the surprise, well, it's not a surprise, but the changes in the groupings has brought more surprises into which teams needs to look out for, not on the top 3, but those in the middle who's moving past the 12th place.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Although, Ski Lodge looks like it's going to get hot and all of the ice there is going to be melting away. Auto knockout, the first ones in there. And I don't think it's going to be a great idea for any one of the rest of the squads to go in and check them out, right? I believe that's Umbrella Reborn nearby them as well as Z Squad. They break away. Cannot Brain in the vicinity as well. Cannot Brain taking up this fight against FSK. You're right in front of Irons, flies through the air and snuffs him out. Goes in for the delete as well. One as well as Gans. The question is, where are they? Cannot Brain. They cannot brain exactly why they keep falling in front of the other squads and getting killed so early in these matches, Neptune.
Definitely. One thing that I cannot brain is how Yoon did that flying shot right into the face. And here comes another team who's battling it out. It's Umbrella Reborn and AKO Legend. Well, we've seen the difference between these teams, and we'll have to find out, have they adjusted already on this fight?
wow.
And there you go. The push right now is in here, and iPan's trying to do some damage and was able to do so against AKO.
Oh, that's a GG, bro. That is an absolute GG onto AKO. Now, Umbrella Reborn should be able to go in for the full snuff. I think Taken has been spotted. No, he holds on to a great angle right outside at the caravan. Era will be hunting for the rest of these players. And now, if Zay goes in and makes one mistake, a 2-on-1 situation can immediately snuff him out. Is right in front. Zay needs a little bit of backup. Era, he goes in to catch up as well. And lucky for the side of Umbrella Reborn, they do not go in and fall just yet. iPans on his knees now. Grizzly will go ahead and join him as well. And it gets deleted through this process. AKO, they were on the back foot, but Umbrella Reborn, they need to calm down a little bit, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those quick decisions, I think it's where AKO is in an advantage. And there you go. Umbrella Reborn was eliminated there. A quick turnaround by AKO Legends. And like what I mentioned, those quick decisions that they had to do, they were a little bit too late on that push against AKO. They might have eliminated already 2 members and then just a delete for the whole squad on that point.
Yeah, the weakest point of Umbrella Reborn and the silliest mistake that they made in that particular fight was as soon as they managed to take out one player from the side of AKO, they should have stuck together, man. I mean, so early on in the match, the probability of your opponents having a grenade launcher or multitude of grenades in their hands going to be very, very low. You should be able to pop out your time turners, your glue walls, fend them off. You win these fights with the numbers. The game of numbers always will be able to reign supreme unless you're taking on an absolute crazy guy like Cobra or someone with a double, vectors right in front of your face. So, I mean, that's a different situation. It's such a weakly played round by the side of Umbrella Reborn. After they get the momentum, they get snuffed out back to back.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that really we've seen so far, the time turner has deflected a lot of grenades right there. I saw a team in there just lost all their grenades because of the time turner. If they've utilized that in there, and well, not really utilized, but they know that they can use it and just stick together and just go against AKO Legends, they might be able to have fully complied to what they're aiming for at that point. But no, they just spread out and they were taken out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that just shows the difference between a squad like AKO as well as Umbrella Reborn. It shows how matured AKO is. AKO, I believe they lost Rosso X. Was that correct? The first player that they... Yeah. So they lost Rosso, and the first thing that they did was they immediately abandoned their compound and they backed away from that situation, but they didn't start running because in Free Fire, there's just so much of running you can do, man. I mean, if you're really lucky, you've got a lot of glue walls on your end and it's a really crowded compound with a lot of buildings blocking the line of sight, you might be able to get away, perhaps find a vehicle or something. But in that situation, it was very, very, very well handled by the side of AKO. They hold on, they wait for Umbrella Reborn to make a mistake. And oh my goodness, did they make a mistake, man. Absolute blunder. And they get snuffed out one after the other. And now Almighty breaking apart. Hopefully Brain does not catch them off guard here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a risky move, having only 2 members for the side of Cannot Brain, but I think they've already sensed that there's a lot of teams in here. But looking at the position of Almighty right here, a 1-3 split, a little risky for the information gathering of these teams. Hopefully they'll be able to regroup that quickly. Despite of the compounds that they have, there's also a lot of potential wherein another team might have camped out already on these houses.
Yeah. Now let's see if Almighty will be able to bring in some of the momentum that they started on for themselves from early on in the day. 4 X-Men expert, they've gotten in 1 booyah for themselves already. They did not manage to get that in their second matchup. This is the 3rd opportunity, and then the 4th one will step right up. Yesterday was just not the day for 4 X-Men expert. Today might just be it. Blacklist International. They've not been having the best of days now, have they?
Yeah, I think it's the map that they're
Mm.
playing on right now, and they've already got the feel of how the groupings are because they did well and they were able to move up on to second place. But right now, it's the map that they're playing on. I think they're not yet familiar, or the other teams are more familiar than them on how to move and flank and like turn things around. That's why they are not
Mm-mm.
really lucky for today.
This is gonna be very unfortunate for FSK if they get caught off guard here. PXG trying to set up an ambush. Shark with the vehicle. The motorcycle should be able to give him the mobility around the map, but we have all seen exactly how the vehicle can turn around against you. And FSK, Team Fastkill, we've seen them make this mistake so many a times, right? They play the meta of the vehicle just to find some kills, but just that aggression catches them off guard sometimes, right? They sometimes go into situations where they get snuffed out so quick, and that's caused a lot of the inconsistency from the squad, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's risky to use a vehicle gameplay. It's just you need to be proficient. It's like how the grenade has been used. It's very risky because you don't have any guns in hand. You're just preparing to cook out that grenade, and you might be shot. But so far towards the league, the days of this league, a lot of teams has been practicing that because it is working. Now, if they be able to utilize the vehicle gameplay on a different level, like per se what PXG Radicals are doing like early on to these matches or some of the matches, then they'll be able to change the game once again.
Yeah, agreed, bro. Absolutely agreed. I mean, similar situation breaking down here for the side of Almighty. Cannot Brain approaching them from the right-hand side in Brasilia. And just when I thought they might get caught in a sticky situation, Views actually backs away. Now ITX might be able to snuff out the players from 4X-Men X, but a beautiful nade being tossed by Spade. But the players from ITX will be able to avoid that like geniuses. But the flank from the side of ITX. ID well as Zapnu going in from the back. Trix will be able to take the shots up against Shook, and the nade will get popped through. Spade needs to be really careful. 70 HP, and Spade gets dropped down onto the ground. Goku on his knees as well. Maru as well as Rybel. Can they go in for the pickup? Spade gets deleted instantaneously, and it's going to be Niel coming in from the back, and Niel will be able to take Rybel out of the equation as well, but Rybel is waiting for that shot. Double Vectors gets popped out, and Rybel does not go down. Beautiful plays as he pulls out the glue wall. Triple glue wall around the guy, but one nade able to snuff him out, but out of nowhere now, Views coming in to stick their noses where it doesn't belong. Will they be able to get it? And Malore knocks Shooks down onto his knees, and he will be able to come in. Aoki, they will be able to delete Rybel as well. 4X-Men Expert, they didn't expect this, and Views very easily takes over this compound.
Oh my god, that third party by Wills right now has changed how it went for 4X-Men Expert, but ITX right here is still a 4-man squad strong as they're going against on the 3v4. So Wills needs to get away. Embalor, despite of the accuracy that they have, he will be taken down. And another team was able to hit him from behind. It's PXG who just went in for another third party, and PXG right now might be rushing in against them. We'd like to see more of ITX and Wills in here because there's a heated battle. It's a 2v3 on the other side, but Barba was able to, or was taken down by another team from afar. It's Almighty, so this is a 4-team battle, AJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. And now Almighty, they are going in here, stirring the hornet's nest. You can see Insanity along with Tanamo going in for a quick flank, trying to catch Almighty off guard. Are they going to be able to pull that off? They've got the terrain to make sure the side of Almighty does not know exactly what they're going in here for the plan. ITX still in this fight against Views. A couple of nades can take a limit as well as Aoki out of this equation. Nell gets caught off guard by Aoki, but he's not going to be able to get the delete. Now Nade being cooked up by Shooks. Time Turner, is it gonna pop out? Beautiful Nade response! And Views gets eliminated by a very, very well-placed Nade.
I mean, we saw that, but I don't think Wills saw that, and they just fell into the trap. And what a good play in there indeed. And now going back on the other side, we have ITX now onto the sides of PXG. We're looking at AKO Legends right now, and they might be pushed by Blacklist International, but the way they're looking at it, they're flanking onto the side. Now back to PXG Radicals. So one has been taken down early, has been picked up, and this is a 3-team battle. Tactical Intex and Almighty is still onto this ground. Hopefully, one of them will be bold enough to go in for the rush. But Almighty, I think they'll be backing off in here a little bit because so far, despite of the kill feed that they saw and the engagement that they heard earlier, none of the teams will be backing off, and they need to be a little bit more careful.
Views just, falling out of that battle, mainly because they have already expanded all of their tactics against the side of 4X-Men Expert earlier on, man. Nades got tossed out, all those glue walls got expanded, time turners on the cooldown. It was just an unfortunate situation for Views, and, in against that one final nade, the guys just could not do anything much at all. Now Zed, the 0 to hero squad, trying to get out of here, jumping into the McLaren. Lavitz, they should be able to buzz out of this compound because Team Fastkill is on hot on the approach. And now Zed, with the beautiful parking here by Blade, trying to secure the vehicle for himself just to make sure they will be able to get that mobility when they truly need it. And I feel like they need to hide all of these other cars as well, right? They've got a whole car collection going on right now, Neptune.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be utilizing it as traps because the moment the teams jump in, they can just make it all explode and then just set those up. But we'll have to find out. I think it's Seth as well enjoying the game despite of the position they're in. And hopefully not too much because they need to be on their toes. We still have 8 teams fighting out in here, and we are now on the 3rd phase going into 4th. And as we look into the team, they are slowly gathering up into the circle, and this will be pandemonium the moment that we've seen those engagements.
Absolutely, man. Blacklist International, as usual, they hold on to the high ground. It has not always given them the best of advantages, but we have always seen them manage their maps in this way. Monarch now going in with the Vector, should be able to find someone, but unfortunately for him, a glue wall will stop him right in his tracks, but he manages to jump over the railings instead and go in for a quick snuff, looking for those players. He's going to be confused because Almighty is quick and out of there. Beautiful plays, if you ask me, coming in from Almighty, pulling out the glue wall and jumping out of the window to get away from that situation was perfection. But now FSK from across will be able to take Shira down onto the ground and go in for the delete as well. The similar thing happens to Shook as well as PXG. They come in. ITX not going to be having a great time in here. ITX doesn't even need to worry about Almighty just yet. But if they do turn around and look at them, it's going to be game over for these boys. Blacklist International in a great position to overtake this scenario and snuff out PXG, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be able to go in for the surprise against PXG, and PXG right now, still on the roll, was able to eliminate Tactical Intex in there with that pinch. Now, they are regrouping and trying to go again against Almighty. This has been heated of Almighty and PXG right here, and we'll have to find out if this will progress further for an elimination from either team. But some of the teams are trying to chase down onto the points as well, and Seth was able to survive that push by, or actually it's Almighty was able to survive that hit by Seth. I think the tactics that they did from the side of Seth's squad worked because they were able to push out Almighty despite of the flank that has been done against them.
Absolutely, man. But all through that, just Batman as well as Ren alive and kicking for the side of Almighty. It's going to be very difficult for them in terms of those numbers because as you can see, we have got a full squad from PXG, Blacklist International, as well as Fastkill Malaysia. So it's going to be very, very tough for them in terms of these top dogs coming in with those challenges. Z squad, yes, they do have a full squad, but in terms of their performance recently, they don't really look like they are about to be all that too troublesome to deal with, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they need to change it up a little bit. So far, they have some good and or some good days and mostly bad days as we are seeing in there. But hopefully, they'll be able to be that C that we're looking out and probably it's just a good momentum that they're looking for to make that work. But unfortunately, it hasn't been happening so far. And Fastkill right here is being taken fast by the blue zone. 2 of them are being knocked down, but it's all one at a time. And there's will be 2 left in here while we have PXG Radicals smack dead in the middle of this circle.
Barba, he has got the grenade launcher in hand, goes in for a quick knock onto the player from the side of Zed. Ramiel, beautiful shots being taken by the sniper. He's not going to be able to take anyone down, and mainly because the wall bangs in this particular game not as effective as they are in some other places. Barba as well as Ramiel, the two players from PXG who are still alive, and the winning composition here for PXG will be the fact that Barba still has the grenade launcher in his hands. It doesn't matter, even if you don't have those numbers, as long as you have got a great compound, which clearly PXG has with them, you should be able to take the W, to pick that booyah up for yourself. And now Zed moving in towards the zone as well across PXG will be auto knockout, but they need to be really careful because Blacklist International might be able to snuff them out from the window on the left there.
Yeah, it might look like it's Blacklist International who might be targeting them because they, AKO, I don't believe they have any sights for Blacklist International, while Ramiel is keeping them busy. And this is one thing that some teams are making a mistake of. They got distracted that easily and just don't think about those other teams who are around them. Now, PXG Radicals, oh, what a hit by Ramiel in there, taking down one of the member of AKO, and this is despite of the numbers that they have. Blacklist right now will be rushing into the circle just right next to PXG. This might be trouble for them as the zone will be closing in, and another takedown, AJ.
Taken, eliminated from the equation. Ramiel now going in absolute pain in the butt for all of these players. Glue walls can come up, but he's just going to be able to snuff them out. Tanamo takes out Manflank with the mine there, but he gets picked right back up. Beautiful plays by Ramiel once again. He's just a solo mission to snuff out AKO all on his own. Blacklist International might be able to take this fight up against the side of PXG. Z Squad, they are going in. Almighty, they might get snuffed out here. Oh, wait, did PXG just... there you go. They're right back onto the screen. Barba as well as Ramiel. Ramiel with the 5 kills in here so far. Phoenix will be able to toss that nade onto Type 64. If Barba dies now, the grenade launcher is going to be for naught. Ramiel gets taken down. Barba is slow and he gets taken out by the safe zone. And that grenade launcher absolutely ineffective, Neptune.
Yeah, I think this is a good play for the side of Set Squad as they are doing some damage against Blacklist International. We keep putting them down, but no! Blacklist International was able to turn it around and they will be taking that booyah!
So well played by the Z Squad, but at the end of the day, only one team can pick that booyah up. And Blacklist International, they've been thirsty for quite a while in here, and they do not want to wait for anybody else to step up in front at the water cooler, man. They are chugging this down. Let's see if or not they will be able to snuff it in one final match later on. Very well played by the squad, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this has changed it because I did mention that this map is not really their forte, but they are changing it right now. They've studied. They know that we are looking at them and we are studying not just us, but also the other teams. So this is to prove everyone wrong and to turn things around, AJ.
Absolutely, man. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's bring Danny as well as Holler right back in here. And whilst we are going into the transition, I'll explain to you guys exactly what was the message that was on the mobile phone earlier on. It basically said, those who are on top, you guys better watch out.
Oh, wow.
Well.
Something I want to quickly mention is I feel so bad for PXG Radicals. They moved way too slowly for that final circle. They had a grenade launcher. If they moved a little bit quicker, just a little bit.
Won.
Yeah, I don't maybe not win, but they would have been able to grab some kills with a grenade launcher, but they just waited for far too long. And that's one of the disadvantages when you're actually staying on the second level of a building. It's either you have to go the long way and take the staircase down, or you have to jump out the bloody window. Yep. And they kind of came out way too late, and there was just no health, no time to swap weapons. I feel so bad. So bad. I facepalmed.
Holler, who did you feel bad for?
To be honest, Zeth. Because the reason being is that they got second place, right? But the thing is that Black International in this one, they were completely passive. I think that this is going to be one of the few games where you have, you get a booyah, but with the fewest number of kills. They didn't really find anybody. They didn't really they were just playing, just hiding around, and they just got really lucky with the fact that Zeth was the only one left. I felt like Zeth played a better one, as well as PXG, who were kind of, again, to Danny's point of positioning a little bit of an issue. Sometimes because you're a little too slow to get to the circles. You got to make sure you move. So those two teams really stuck out to me.
Yeah, crazy plays, Neptune. I mean, from the start of this matchup, man, yes, we do have 11 squads going in there. Made absolutely no difference. Views, it's not like they did bad. Once again, the gods of RNG just weren't on their side. Too many of those teams were finding the exact same compound to take this fight off against him.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad for Wills right now. They lost 2 members and then they just hid in there. And that grenade can be averted if one of them can go outside of the window or the door. But no, they just chose to stay in there, and they were just hoping that the grenade that they popped against ITX, if I'm mistaken, will eliminate the team that completely, but it went reverse on them.
Yeah, throughout the whole matchup, Danny, we were keeping an eye on Ramiel, who was so effective with the sniper. But Barba, if he had been a little bit more daring and stepped out, perhaps gotten a couple of extra kill points for his squad, the grenade launcher could have been very useful.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I feel like if you play in that final circle, sometimes you have to take those risks to go first, because if you're too slow, you don't get anything anyway. So what do you really have to lose? But I think it was just PXG. They were thinking, let's try and play it safe. We're going to be the last ones to go in so that maybe we can try and catch everyone out. But it was just the glue walls constantly blocking them when they went down as well. I mean, this is a case of maybe the team has never experienced this, right, at a competitive level, and they didn't realize that this obstacle could get in the way. Something so small, such as a glue wall blocking them, or them being blocked because of the compound that was actually working out in their favor.
Yeah, so unfortunate.
It's just, I feel so bad for them. If anything, if they managed to get 2 more kills, just 2 more, they would have been able to maybe tie with Blacklist, or even take that first place and deny those points from Blacklist.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that could have happened if it just went in PXG's way.
Do you have any sympathy for X-Men Expert, who got eliminated very early with the 11th place here? I mean, they were 4th place in the overall standings, but they're 11th here. What are your thoughts on that one, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that X-Men Expert could have done, but I think it's more of we're talking about how bad some of the teams are, like, really wanting those kills and those points, and X-Men Expert was just in there in the wrong time, and they were taken out.
Yeah.
So next map is Bermuda, and I feel like we have to bring up this talking point here. So we are looking at teams in Group A and C. Would you guys agree that we may have, in our current situation, have too many top-level predators?
Oh, yeah.
In this matchup?
Yes, no doubt about that at all. Group C, for me, is the group of death, and Group A is filled with superstars as well, Danny. You hit the nail right on the head with that one.
So it just seems like there's not enough kills to go around. So how would you combat that then, when you're playing with all these top-tier teams? I mean, it's like, the obvious one is play better, but is there any other way you could approach this?
Like Z Squad, I mean, yes, they did manage to pick 4 kills up for themselves, but in terms of placement, they did really well, and they picked up, I believe, 9 points in there earlier on, and that's exactly what these teams need to focus on, because with teams of this caliber, taking those gunfights early on, just not going to do you any good at all, and I think 4 X-Men Expert can stand and, pay some testament to that statement.
Okay. Well, it's going to be match 6. This is going to be our final match of the day. This one's going to be Bermuda. This is going to be A versus C. AJ and Neptune, please take it away.
Hey, thank you so much, Holla. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is going to be the final match where we get to scream our hearts out. Hopefully, we see more of those crazy action. If you ask me, Neptune, today has been one of the best group stage days of all of MCP Major Season 2, just with how hot those matches have been.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more of they've already experienced the shuffle yesterday. They know what to look out for, and right now they're just doing a lot more things differently. And these aggressiveness that we're seeing, it's more of them testing it out. Will this work against this team? And some of the teams are also going in for the rush, like what we're seeing. We have 4X-Men Expert going against Almighty. Almighty is in there trying to go in for those movement into the leaderboard or probably just maintaining their point on the leaderboard.
For X-Men Expert, and this is something that you will see a lot in terms of after a certain reshuffle or at the start of the competition for Free Fire, where a lot of these teams, they have not figured out in full where are the favorite drop zones of their opponents. And that's why as the group stage continues, after the reshuffle, after a couple of weeks, we see some of the teams like 4X-Men Expert, gaining that momentum because choosing not to drop into the similar zone or the exact same zone as your opponents makes such a huge difference in the way you can take that momentum in your gameplay. I mean, for X-Men Expert, clearly they are ones who can take great gunfights, but early on in that match, just with that one mistake of choosing the wrong place, having to back away from that drop zone that they have chosen because, too many heads are headed in there, clearly it's not doing them any favors whatsoever, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. Because when you're choosing a drop zone, you might go in there a little bit too late, and the other teams might be in there just a few seconds too early. They can pick up a gun, turn around while you are trying to chase them with a melee weapon. And that is GG for you. So those things, it will work unless you're confident enough of your position, or you'll be able to make those split decision and spread out. You know where those specific points were in. You can instantly get a gun and just fire away, push them out, and then you'll just take over that territory.
Yeah, and one of the failing, we've seen similar scenarios in the past, and I've asked the question of, okay, all right, you see other teams going in for a drop zone, but you didn't pull away. Why? Now, I have to be really clear. When I ask these questions, it's usually against teams that are not really doing that great in the competition. 4X-Men Expert, on the other hand, they take their gunfights really, really well. So, in a circumstance like that, if you give me an option of going in for a hot drop into a certain compound versus dropping out into the open instead and not picking any guns up at all, you're a sitting duck, bro. That was a terrible move coming in from 4X-Men Expert at the start of this match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you mentioned earlier, you don't want to be out in the open. The moment that you turn your back against an opposing team, you'll be able to take them down. And there you go. We have Embalor, the accuracy of Embalor. You can see the distance by Tactical Intex, and still he is doing some damage, JJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was impressed with Shooks because he was, I believe, on 1 or 2 HP left on himself. He pulls out the glue wall at that very final moment, and a reversal coming through here. Alforte getting knocked down onto the ground, and Views will have to expend some of their first aid kits as well. Tactical Intex will have their player getting knocked down onto the ground, but no delete just yet from the side of Views. And Valore will be able to turn things around. Shot still alive and kicking, but nobody around him to pick him up. And Embalore, out of nowhere, Shooks comes in, picks Shot up, and manages to get the knock onto him as well. Views not playing this situation well at all, Neptune.
Oh my god, the quick flank by Tactical Intex in there just changed this game against Wheels. I mean, I thought Wheels is the one in the advantage, and this is what I'm talking about. Don't turn your back because you'll be taken down. Aoki's the only one remaining in here trying to run away until you can reach wherever you want to go, but hopefully Tactical Intex will now be able to catch up.
Look at Aoki run, bro. This is Forrest, and he's running as fast as his little feet can take him, ladies, German boys and girls. I mean, he took his shirt off just so that there's less friction. Managing to turn around and knock Strix onto the ground, but he doesn't go in here for the delete, and I feel like that is the right decision. But Zapnu makes him pay, shoots him in the back, and Views have been eliminated.
A smart yet wrong move in there, because if he just went into the compound, he might be able to avert it being shot at, because you're able to put a dig down, but they knowing that it's only one more member, they will not bother go in for the pickup just yet. They will take you down and then go for the pickup. So that's what happened in there. And Wales right now, unfortunately for them, they made that mistake.
Yeah, that's not the kind of mistake you want to be making at a stage like this, man. I mean, they don't really have to worry about anything much, I guess, because they are not at risk of getting relegated. They are very, very far away from that 12th position. And they've got quite a great number of points on their own, right? Cannot Brain here. Beautiful shots by Manflang. Knocks Samurai down onto the ground and then deletes him as well. Arons trying to get away from this situation. He will be lucky if he doesn't get knocked down onto the ground, and he does make it out of the danger zone, mainly because the shots coming in from Blacklist International way too far.
Yeah, I love how they did that distraction gameplay with a vehicle. I mean, one has been taken down. I'm not sure if I'm sure that Samurai is also trying to take down that motorcycle, but they didn't focus on other members who's not riding, and that's why Samurai is down. And hopefully they'll be able to be a little bit mindful. But when you have a vehicle going around you, because that often happens.
Oi, 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 oi. What is Blacklist International doing? They are driving straight into the compound of Cannot Brain. Now, this might be something that I can brain, because if Blacklist International jumps out, these are just really, really easy kill points for them to pick up on. No disrespect to Cannot Brain, but Blacklist International, they are on a different level once they bring that aggressive push on Neptune.
Definitely, and you can see it in the positioning. We have Cannot Brain, who's a little bit spread out, and all of the members are just going in against one member of Cannot Brain, despite of being damaged by the zone, and one member of, or this Arons, who's trying to run away. Fortunate for Arons, he was able to get away. That escape artist of Cannot Brain was able to get out from the clutches of Blacklist International.
And if you cannot brain how he pulled that off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's all thanks to the adrenaline. He just didn't want to die, man. Guy jets out of there. He leaves the rest of his team members alone as well. He's like, no, bros, I got caught in a tough situation there. I'm going to save myself first. But now he's holding on to this edge of the zone here, and he's moving back. I don't get what Arons is trying to pull off here.
Yeah, probably he been called out by the rest of the teams, telling them that, oh, okay, they've already flee the scene. Blacklist International is already out. You can get back to us right now. Let's do a little bit more, because this wouldn't hurt that much. He also plays that vehicle, that motorcycle, onto the edge, a little bit on the edge of the circle. So the moment that they might need to push on further inside of the circle, they can do so. At least two men can do so.
I absolutely love the vehicle sounds in Free Fire. McLaren's at its best, right? Just like those F1 sounds. It's gonna be Manflang taking those shots from Batman. And now Batman realizes that he's holding on to a very, very open area. Backs away. Shira, opportunity, but Blacklist International 2-on-1. And Shira manages to get out of that sticky situation. Pops a glue wall right in front of him. Ren with the time turner as well. And Blacklist International will see Cobra go down thanks to Batman's nade. And now it is gonna be Phoenix right in front. Ren, opportunity to snuff him out. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Ren from Almighty still alive and kicking Jay-Z on the ground now. And Ren, he will be able to knock Cobra out of nowhere. And the delete is not going to be possible because he has his hands absolutely full, Neptune. This is absolute chaos between the two squads.
And I really love how this team is going to pick up and take down the no-posting team, or as they go in here. We have Almighty Jay-Z, who's already up after that knockdown. And Blacklist International is just defending, fighting for their lives in here, as Almighty is going in for the push. We have a rush in the flank, and I think this is it. Almighty is in the brink of taking down Blacklist, and there you go.
And they didn't even lose a single player. What happened? What changed? I want to know. I want to know from the side of Almighty, did they have a change in coach? Because, dude, their gameplay, their game style, in comparison to a couple of weeks ago, it's night and day. They were absolutely all over the place with their strategies, but they look so clean, and they don't seem to second guess themselves when they go in for the push this time. Okay, wait, I have to stress that they didn't second guess themselves as they were making those mistakes, a few weeks ago as well. But they are on point this time round.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Almighty that much on the Booyah, the winner screen, but when we saw them, we saw how they're positioned. So we're not sure if from the previous week they're going the same 3 members are in the same room, it's better if they have all 4 members in the same room because the communication will be fluid. There's no delay. There's no like in game that will be bothering the communication between the two of you. So those things, those simple things, if the teams will be able to pull it off, then it is a good game for all of the teams in here. Like communication, those types, quick decisions as well. Almighty is killing it.
And let's see if or not they will be able to continue killing it, because they are 6 points behind Fastkill MY. They're about 15 points behind Auto Knockout. Bro, if Almighty makes it into the top 5 today, I'm gonna lose my mind, man, because from a squad that was absolutely nothing, they are most definitely something right now.
Yeah, I mean, these are the teams who, well, it started me thinking. Now that we're questioning why these teams are moving up that quickly, it's bringing me back to that position where some of the teams are just hiding their tactics. So this might be one move. This is also one move from Almighty, because we've seen them so far. Going back to Free Fire, Philippine Open, we've seen them dominate the scene. Now they are going against different countries, and they didn't do well in the first few weeks. So it doesn't look like they changed strategy at that point from the start or from the beginning of this league. But right now, I think they have a lot more in store for the rest of the team as we move along the weeks.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Neptune. I hope you're right in terms of, Almighty holding back their strats, and we just weren't shown that 100% from that squad just yet, because I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the squad right now. And I would absolutely hate to see them regress into, the small squad that was making all of those silly mistakes from the past couple of weeks. If they can maintain this momentum, my friend, what a grand final that is going to be, right? Because we've got so many squads that we think are not going all out just yet. And similar to your suspicion as to, Almighty holding back some of the stats, I think it's Blacklist International from my end, right? Because from where they were in Season 1 in comparison to Season 2, worlds of difference, right? Almighty, but on that note, they get taken down one after the other. It's going to be ITX, the team that has managed to go up and shine, go up and absolutely impress everyone. With the opportunity to take Shira out of the equation, Trix will be able to absorb those shots instead, and he pulls out the glue wall. Shira, one more shot, should be eliminated, but plays the tree really, really well. But Zapnu from afar takes the opportunity, and this is once again the supremacy of tactical Intex.
Oh my god, a very tactical approach indeed. And I'm wondering why Shira is just going solo in there, and where the rest of Almighty. And these are probably some of the mistakes. And I like to take back what I mentioned earlier, but this is probably a mistake made by Almighty at this point. This is not a thing that they planned. It's just that they're trying to I'm thinking they're trying to chase down another team, but Tactical Intex just turned around. Well, going in, Umbrella Reborn right now. They will be taken by the zone, as well as Auto Knockout or AKO, who is a little bit too near from them, and they will be gatekeep in here.
Yeah, GG for Umbrella Reborn. They have to fight against the zone, but thankfully, the blue zone is just right in front of them. iPans gets knocked down once again. There's a little bit of a gap there below the glue wall, but they will patch that up real quick. Auto Knockout coming in here for the snuff. Rosso X steps up right in front, but the guy seems to have made a huge mistake and gets knocked down onto the ground. Grizzly will be able to take him down, but Umbrella Reborn does not get to stand up for that much longer. Auto Knockout, so good with the snuff. Rosso will be picked right back up, and now Z Squad might be taking this fight up against Auto Knockout momentarily.
Yeah, I mean, looking at AKO right now, this might look like an easy 8 kills between those two teams if they'll be able to eliminate Z Squad right there. And bad move as well from Umbrella Reborn. They place those glue walls against them, because you saw they run into the glue walls, and then the zone starts eating them alive, losing their momentum.
Okay, 7 more squads left in here. Auto knockout with the approach towards Zeth, and a beautiful nade by Taken is going to be asking huge questions, and maybe the opener for auto knockout here. Rosso X has been deleted. Lavitz from afar. Taken, beautiful nade. Lavitz! Trouble. Oh, pulls out the time turner in the nick of time. Isn't going to be too troubled by that at all. Trix gets knocked down by the play zone. Auto knockout still alive and kicking. ITX seems to be eating quite a lot, but auto knockout out of nowhere gets eliminated from this equation. It's going to be Z Squad now taking this fight up against Cannot Brain. Type 64 cooking up that nade, will be able to toss it up towards one from the side of XBR, but it looks like the boulder is going to be more than enough in terms of cover for the side of Cannot Brain, and we'll switch on over to PXG as they take this kill up against Fast Kill MY now, Neptune.
Yeah, Pascal MY is just at the bottom, while we have the rooftop being taken by PXG Radicals. A very bold move and risky as well, because they're easy target for those from afar, but it's a good thing that the rest are busy with their own fights and they can focus on Pascal MY as well as those snipes. As we can see, we have Raymil, who's already trying to hunt down Yoon, and Barba is the one in charge to go for those from afar.
Yeah, I love the glue wall being popped up. Hold on to the roof of these buildings. Barba, I'm curious if or not the guy has got a grenade launcher with him once again. It does not seem to be the situation. And now here comes Team Fastkill MY right below the players of PXG. They might be able to ask some good questions if they can pop those nades up onto the roof. Batman might get taken down by Barba here, but guns out of nowhere. Barba manages to snuff him out. Batman gets eliminated by the zone. Lavitz now managing to go in for a shot, but Type 64 is the guy that knocks down Thanamo. He will go. Picked right back up. Barba as well as Raimiel still holding strong for the side of PXG. And now this is the fight that they need to take up against the Z Squad. But they need to be very careful, because right down below them stands Fastkill MY to capitalize on this confusion.
This is a very difficult part for the side of PXG Radicals if they haven't seen it before. One grenade will be able to take them down. It's a good thing is that Seth didn't think about that. And there goes Thanamo going in for the grenade against Type 64. A turnaround by Barba right here, trying to go against Lavitz. Will this 1v1 work? They need to run into the zone. They might be losing time. And there you go. PXG Radicals has been taken down. And there goes Fastkill MY going in for the termination. But Lavitz, the only one remaining, and Pascal will be taken down. Stat Squad finally making their move with that. Booyah!
Oh my god, Neptune. What a play, bro. Dude, Z Squad had no right to win that at all. Ajib Clanks, man. Wrong names, but it's okay. Beautiful plays, my friend. Absolute golden plays coming through from Z Squad. They did not have any right whatsoever to win that matchup. They had the open compound, and PXG, along with FSK, they had the momentum on their end. PXG, they had the bird's eye view, and Team Fastkill, they had the compound to protect them, and they should have been able to finish that game off. But what a play coming through from a squad that I quite honestly thought might not be able to make it through. But you know, the suspicion of those at the very bottom scratching and clawing their way up to the top, that is still alive, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On that note, let's bring right back through Danny as well as Holler and get their thoughts on this match as well as Z Squad. Danny, how about you?
Gosh, I'm going to be a little bit critical here to PXG Radicals. They were so adamant to give away their position.
Yeah.
They were so adamant. And I feel like, again, it's a case of the team just being too slow to move. And as they're moving, they get punished for it. It's so heartbreaking, because I was sitting there, I was watching them. They had such a good reaction time when it came to getting that pick off. I forgot who it was. They were hiding behind a car. They were cooking up a grenade. They managed to get the grenade off. They picked him off.
Yeah.
But then it didn't matter in the long run, because the entire team just gets swept up, end up in third place anyway, and they lose the booyah, which they could have gotten. They were so close.
Yeah, Holler, your thoughts on Team Fastkill MY's role to play in that final circle, my friend, against PXG?
a little bit aggressive. I mean, FSK, that's kind of the play style they do. But I think I want to give a shout out to Zeth, right? This is a team that's been on the up and up with ever since the shake up in terms of the groups. They scored 30 points yesterday, and they're going to score way more than 30 probably today, especially with that Booyah there. But this is a team that's been on the rise, right? This is an average team, in terms of average points per day. It's been 21 points, and you're getting 30, and then, probably more than 30 today, and you're on a roll, right? This is a team that really needed it, especially since they were 15th place going in. If you want a comeback story, this is the team. This is the bandwagon that you want to ride to the top, because I think they still have a chance. I mean, they have a long road ahead of them, but man, I like what I'm seeing from Zeth.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough question, Neb. Do you think we might be able to see Zeth pull off 57 points more than the rest of those players who are trying to catch up to that 12th position? Because that's what they need, bro, to get into that 12th spot. They need 57 points more than the team that's holding on to that position right now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no other team or if there's any team that needs motivation by the Booyah right now, it's Set Squad that needs it.
Yeah.
And I just saw their name. It's Set Squad is 0 to hero, and I think they're moving in from 0 to hero at this point.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And this was that fight once again between FSK as well as PXG. They played such a monumental task within that fight itself to make sure the side of Zeth gets the Booyah at the end of the day. If it was not for Fastkill, the situation would have been so different, because it was PXG number one with the bird's eye view, PXG number one with a certain play of that compound itself, and Zeth, all they had was just open lands and the glue walls that they had within the artillery.
Smart play. I mean, just going throughout. And I think we've seen the team is actually starting to grow. You're seeing some, the team is starting to be a little bit more mature in terms of how they go out into the late game, right? They've struggled because they haven't done well. They haven't really gotten that momentum train going where they've been eliminated earlier in the league, right? Now they're kind of figuring out ways to survive. They don't need the kills early, but it's going to get them to that point. Now, if you're looking at this, the standings, right? Zeth Squad with 7 kills, 12 points. Booyah, 19 points. Congrats to them. But Tactical Intex, a little bit of a surprise here, right? Don't you think? With 10 kills, that's a monster game. What are your thoughts on that, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Tactical Intex has shown us that they have what it takes. It's just some of the instances they're being unlucky, being either pinch or backstab at some point, but they do have a chance to go in for a lot of kills, and this is a good start for them.
I'm absolutely mind blown, man. Tactical Intex, they sneaked into that second spot. I was not expecting. I was like, what? When did they? 10 kills for Tactical Intex, and for a team that has been slowly rising up to the top. They are sitting down on the same level of 4 X-Men Expert views as well as Almighty right now. And catching up to Team Fastkill might not be that big of a dream, because Fastkill MY, they really are not hitting straight all the time, Danny.
No, it's just... No, I'm not saying the word.
Fair.
I think, if anything, it's purely contributed to the fact that Fastkill, they just have good days and they have bad days, right? And you have to stay with those good days. Something I'm really keen to look at is the overall standings, right? Because we are in week 4. Everyone has only 4 days left to make their mark. And as you can see, looking at the leaderboard, some of these teams are really starting to pull away, and they're running out of opportunities to make it to that top 12. Especially for the teams that are sitting in 12th to 17th. I mean, could we say it's unreachable for Umbrella Reborn? That 12th spot. Is it unreachable?
72 points, you tell me, Danny.
That's why I'm asking you.
and it's not just 72 points, it's 72 points more than what Metrics can pick up for themselves. And this has been a battle that Argon MY very, very clearly knows and understands, along with Dueezy. Every time they do well, Metrics finds a way to do slightly better. And Metrics does not seem to be slowing down in their momentum. So it's going to be such a tough fight for them. And Umbrella Reborn, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be possible, because even when they were bringing in consistency, we were seeing about 8 to 10 points per match, 40 overall within a day. If they can show that week after week after week, maybe, But clearly, that's not what we're facing here.
Yeah, it's such a shame too, because you see the team, if anything, you want everyone to have a potential chance of getting that 12th spot, right?
Yeah.
Top 12 is the dream. You want to have a chance, but it almost seems like it's unreachable at this point, unless they pull off an SAF. They have 2 weeks where they pull out 50 points a day. Then the possibility is there.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to turn that frown upside down, because we're also going to remind all of our wonderful viewers at home, thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. We have our code below that you can now claim for your free goodies. Make sure to claim it now, because as soon as this stream switches off, that code is also going to disappear forever as well. So claim it now, send it to your friends, and send them with an urgent message. Claim this now or miss out. Okay, claim it now. Tell everyone. It's super important that you get it, because once you miss out, that's on you. That's not on us. I already warned you.
I want to ask you guys, let's make this call straight up. We'll start with Danny, we'll move on to Holler, and then
God, what is
Neptune.
it?
Do you think Argon MY will make it into the top 12 by the end of next week? They are only 10 points away from metrics right now.
10 points.
10 points.
I think they will easily take over Do Easy. They do much better than Do Easy. Metrics. It's a tough call, because Argon they're pulling out the plays today, this week. They didn't pull out the plays the weeks before.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. How about you, Holler? Do you think it will be done, man? Because this fight for the 12th spot just seems to be so impossible, because no matter how much they do, it doesn't seem to change.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to how you're playing now. Right, yesterday and today, if we look at that, I think Argon and Zeth squad, that is something I never thought I would say, but they're really in the running, right? They're putting up a good show, they're putting up a fight, and they're saying, hey, we want to get into this. I think you got to look out for those. If you're on Bloody Head, Metrics, Do Easy, these are the teams you got to be worried about, right? In the sense of, hey, we got to do a little self-inflection, we got to figure out what went wrong, we got to fix this, because this boat, if it sinks, we got no chance at this. We got to make sure that we're ready for next week, because we have only 4 more play days. Now is the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How about you, Neptune? Are you jumping onto the bandwagon of the Argon MY squad? Do you think they can make it to the top 12 by next week? I'm not asking whether or not they'll be able to stay in the top 12, but just make it in there, man, because the momentum seems to be strong. And I'm asking this question because we've seen some really strong weeks from some squads, and then next week, boop, they're off the radar.
Yeah, I mean, if I would say it will be difficult for them. So it's a very low chance that they'll be able to make it on the top 12. Why? It's because the groupings that they have, especially on an A and B, is they're fair, because they're running down for first place to the place that they are right now, and but the gap between those teams are a little bit too far, and a lot of teams are trying to to climb up as well. So with those odds, it is difficult. Hopefully they'll be able to overtake it.
Yeah, man. Cool. Fair assessments from all of you guys. I've just got my fingers crossed for Argon MY to make it to the top 12, so that we see all of the rest of the teams at the bottom step it up as well. I'm sorry, SAF. I don't want to steal your thunder. I think you guys have got a lot of opportunities at the grand finals to get us screaming your names out. But right now, it's all about the fight at the very bottom, guys.
My goodness, I keep doing this. So I have an idea that I think would be pretty interesting for us to keep tabs on how the team is going to be performing for these final 2 weeks. We start to collect the points that the teams are getting for the last 2 weeks, and then we can get an idea as to how these teams are going to perform going into grand finals. Because we could include the points going in for the first 3 weeks, but I think because those weeks they're way past gone, and you've seen some teams improving and other teams they seem to be stuck or they're going backwards. So it'll be a good chance to see what teams we should be looking out for, who are the front runners in terms of points for the final couple of weeks, and who people should be watching out for when the grand finals do hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see fresh new teams on the teams to look out for. I don't want to see the first, second, and third ranked from production next week. I'm looking out for the fight of the top 12, man. My eyes are on Metrics. My eyes are on Do Easy, Argon MY, and I'll just read out the rest of the names here. We're talking about Z Squad. We're talking about Umbrella Reborn. We're talking about Cannot Brain. And all these squads have managed to find their moments to impress us, guys. So crazy, crazy stuff at the MCP Major Season 2. And next week, is it just me or does the action just get better and better and better?
That's all every season.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's normal.
All right, so
All right.
I think that we've got a great set of matches already. I think this is going to be a nice one. We're going to have only 4 more days. And to your point, AJ, I think that it's going to be nothing but drama going to the finish line here. It's going to be crazy coming at us. But on behalf of Neptune, AJ, Danny, and myself, Holler, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys next week, Saturday, 1 p.m., same time, same place. We'll see you then.
Do Easy is next on the chopping block, and it seems like Fasco and Why they know where Do Easy is. Jumbo, oh boy, no, shows his.
I'm just torn in between, man. I want both of those squads to get the best out of the equation. Blacklist International now. Cobra takes Spade out of the equation, or to the very least knocks him down onto the ground. Cobra needs to be very careful. So 7 HP left, and he goes in for the slice.
South Almighty. And Matrix, at least they need some damage, but it might be enough. Matrix now, they're under fire. Fast ULY coming through, Almighty chipping in. Matrix will go down eventually as they took a very unfavorable fight. But Fast ULY not done yet. Look at that, 11 kills. Bow out, so that's extra points for Matrix. They're gonna be happy with that. AKO Legend is gonna be the next one to go down as Ray Miao fights an easy leg shot. But he ran Almighty.